time seriously here in Houston for a long time.
Well, you know, the Miami team is a comparatively young team, too, and I think sometimes you relate to some of the key positions as to the age of a football team. Bob Greasy, the excellent quarterback of the Miami Dolphins, has been there a long time, since the inception of their franchise. A lot of people seem to think because he's been there so long that it's an old team, but it really isn't. And I must say, too, that Bob Greasy is one of the great quarterbacks in the business and one of the most unpredictable quarterbacks. And he does a fantastic job of keeping you off balance. You never know what he's going to do.
Tony Fritz will kick it off from our right to our left, and back inside their 5 are Duriel Harris and Gary Davis for the Miami Dolphins. This game gets underway. We hope you enjoy our broadcast. It's a long kick that goes down to the 2, bounce on. It's picked up by Harris. He's out across the 10 to 15-yard line and did not get to the 20-yard line after fumbling the ball on the goal line. A return of 16. So Greasy and company go to work. The first tackle downfield by the defensive back, Al Johnson, of the Oilers. Greasy will have Del Williams and Leroy Harris in the backfield with him as he brings the club out to his 18-yard line. Williams and Harris. The other Harris split to the right, Matt Moore to the left. Here's the give to Del Williams over the left side, cuts it back against the frame, blows out to the 30-yard line for a first down. Tackled by Willie Alexander up from the corner, and Williams, who started with more than 1,000 yards tonight, just picked up 13 more.
You know, they like to start a game with that kind of a play. It was a very simple play with everybody on the left side getting a hat on the defensive people of the Houston Oilers. You must credit Bob Kuchenberg, Ed Newman, and the tight end, Andre Tillman. They did a fine job of blocking at the point of attack, and Williams did the rest.
Also up front, Jim Langer at center, Larry Little and Mike Current are the offensive linemen on the right side. Harris is the up man in the eye. The give to Williams again. He's hit at the line of scrimmage and squirts forward for a couple of yards over the left side. And Greg Bingham and Alvin Bethea were the tacklers on the play. So 2 running plays. They both went to Williams, and he's a very durable ball carrier. He'll carry it 30 times during the contest.
Yes, he will. And, of course, he's their leading rusher going into this game, and very obviously so. One of the things that we can look for in this game, I'm sure, is we'll see some counter plays because both teams react to what they see so well. You have to have some misdirection, and they have to do it early.
It is Harris to the right, Moore to the left on 2nd down and 8. Greasy straight back to throw. Swings it out to the running back, and it is caught by Leroy Harris, and he moves for a first down across the 40-yard line near the 45. Willie Alexander came up from the corner, but much too late, covering that swing back out of the backfield.
Well, Greasy is a great actor, and the success of that play is contingent on the quarterback not releasing it too soon, looking downfield, permitting the linebackers to get good depth. And then as the linebackers get to good depth, the fullback has a lot of running room. By the time the linebackers reacted to that play, he made enough yardage for the first down. Very simple.
Now the line of scrimmage is at the 38. So the Dolphins have a good drive going early from their own 38. A first down. Split backfield, and Del Williams up the middle. Big hole. Out across midfield. Down to the 45, 40, 38-yard line of the Houston Oilers. Mike Reinfeldt, the safety man, and Bill Currier, the strong safety, made the tackle. And this doesn't usually happen to Houston. They usually can key in on those good running backs like Greg Pruitt and O.J. Simpson and a fellow like Williams tonight, but he's moving them out.
Well, Larry Little did a great job, Langer and Newman, and they had the back leading through the hole. Leroy Harris, a big seam to run through, and they picked up a big chunk on first down.
Well, you talk about getting off that line of scrimmage. The offensive line of Miami is blowing them out. They're in the I formation. They split now into a split backfield. Tillman on the right side. Greasy, a first down pass. Looks and throws. Swings it out. Caught by the running back, Harris. He's at the first 35, and he's hit and fumbles. And the ball's recovered by Miami. Greg Stemrick made a hit, and he made Leroy Harris cough it up. But the ball was recovered by Harris, and Miami still has the ball and a gain of 2 yards on the play.
That was the same play they ran to the right side a little while ago. The linebacker on that side did not get nearly as much depth as the Washington did on the previous play, and as a result, Brazil did a good job of responding and almost recovered a fumble.
2nd and 8 for Miami from the 35 of Houston. Matt Moore is to the right. Duriel Harris. A flag goes down. Houston offside. The pass over the middle. Caught by Moore inside the 15 to the 10 to the 9-yard line. Houston was offside. The penalty will be declined, and it'll be 1st and goal in all probability. Elvin Bethea jumped offside. Stemrick and Alexander made the tackle, and Moore made a sensational catch reaching in on a defender.
That was an incredible catch, and what happened there, they were in a double wing, double tight situation. They were trying to get one-for-one.
Refused. First down.
Offside declined.
They were trying to get one-for-one coverage, but they rolled into a zone on the side of Matt Moore, and Bob Greasy threw it right into coverage, threw it behind that. He made a fantastic catch, and it's a first down on the 9-yard line, a gain of 26 yards on the play.
1st and goal from the 9. Miami has moved from their 18-yard line in a big hurry in less than 4 minutes. And now it's Harrison Williams in the backfield. Greasy on 1st down. Gives the ball to Harris, bounces off a tackle, gets to the 5. It'll be 2nd and goal from there as he went up the middle. Finally stopped by Bethea. I've always felt, Hank Stram, that Jim Langer is one of the best, if not the best, center in football. I know that Tom Banks of St. Louis and Kuziel of Washington and others are high-rated, but Langer, to me, is right up there with anybody.
Yeah, there's no question about that, and the key to this game from a running standpoint is Langer blocking on Curly Culp. If he could do a good job, which he has done so far, they're going to make a lot of yardage against this defense here tonight.
Curly Culp playing the nose guard. It's 2nd and goal from the 5 as Greasy calls the signals. He's back to throw. He looks into the end zone and incomplete to Tillman. It's tight end. There's a flag down back upfield near the line of scrimmage, holding against Miami. They may, well, I don't know if they're going to decline this penalty or not. It would be 3rd and goal from the 5 or 2nd down and goal from the 15. What would you do, Hank? Would you take the penalty?
No, I'd take them back. I wouldn't let them stay that close. I'd take them back and make them fight for every yard they could get. It's a lot better to have them back there on the 20 rather than on the 5.
Well, we'll see what they do. They move it back to the 15. The holding call. Gene Barnes, the referee, will tell us who it was.
Number 79, offensive holding, 2nd down.
And so it's 2nd and goal from the 15. Greasy was trying to throw it in there on 2nd down. Wayne Moore, the offensive tackle, number 79, was holding. You're looking for a draw, aren't you? Huh?
It could be the way he thinks.
2nd down and goal from the 15. He's straight back to throw. He's going to throw over the middle and incomplete. Willie Alexander almost picked it off. Mike Reinfeld almost picked it off, and Greasy had nothing on the ball.
Nothing at all, and it looked like, very honestly, Reinfeld might have interfered. The ball was in flight. He made contact with the receiver, but the official was right there, and evidently he didn't think it was a bad play. And so it's 3rd down at this situation with the Dolphins still in possession.
I've never seen Greasy throw a ball with any less on it, have you?
No, he threw that very poorly, and he doesn't do that very often, and he threw it into traffic.
He's 3 out of 5 right now, and it's 3rd and goal from the 15. Moore comes to the right along with Jimmy Cephalo. And now Harris is to the right with Cephalo, and Matt Moore is split left. Houston was evidently offside. The pass outside to Hillman. He caught it. He blasted at the 10-yard line. But the penalty evidently is against Houston offside. That'll make it 3rd and goal from the 10 because Tillman was dropped at the 10. Unless Houston was drawn offside. Boy, did Tillman take a pop. He was hit by J.C. Wilson, the extra defensive back, and Elvin Bethea is the one who was offside again.
You know, Bob Greasy does this as well as any quarterback in the game. He changes the rhythm, changes the tempo, and the cadence, and as a result, he really keeps you off balance, and you'll see the Houston Oilers team jumping off several times here tonight because of that non-rhythm count of Bob Greasy.
Hank, they mentioned it even before the game that they were concerned about that facet of Greasy's play call.
Yeah,
55 defense, offside, 3rd down.
But every time that you play against them, you have to set up a drill during the course of the week. We did Jack, because we wanted to make sure that we got our defensive line, the defensive team exposed to that kind of a cadence so they wouldn't jump offside. And even at that, he still gets you. He's very adept at that particular phase of quarterbacking.
10-15 left in the first quarter. No score. 3rd and goal from the Houston 10 for Miami. Greasy straight back. He throws over the middle. It's caught for a touchdown by Nat Moore. His 9th of the year, as he really floated away from everybody. Faked outside, went inside. Harris had gone into the corner and taken 2 men with him, and Moore was all alone, and Miami jumps on top.
But the thing that happened there was that Nat Moore was in the backfield that time, and he ran an option pattern on the linebacker, 52. He started outside and came back inside, was wide open, wasn't a man around him, and that's why he was able to pop clean on that play. Touchdown for the Miami Dolphins.
And now, with Strock holding, Premian, the left-footed kicker, will try to make it 7-0. 11 plays, an 82-yard drive, and Miami really made it look easy. They were helped by a couple of offside penalties. There's the kick by Premian, and it is good, and it makes the score 7-0. 10-10 left in the first quarter. With the score, Miami Dolphins 7 and Houston nothing. Let's take time out.
You've said a lot of things nobody else can say. When you say that, you say you care enough to only walk the king of beers. When you say Budweiser, you
pointed out that Nat Moore lined up in the backfield, and that put a linebacker on him defensively.
Yeah, they had Brazil on him, 52, and he just played a little game with Brazil. If Brazil got outside leverage, he went inside. If he got inside leverage, he'd go outside. That time, he worked to the outside, and Nat Moore just went inside. There wasn't a soul around him. He was wide open, and that was it.
With Billy Johnson out of action for the Houston Oilers, and he'll not return this year because of a knee operation, Gary Premian will be kicking, and Johnny Durden, D-I-R-D-E-N, is back on the goal line with Larry Poole. And Houston will get the ball for the first time. Miami kept it for almost 5 minutes, and they lead 7-0. Here's the kick by Premian. It's high, it's short, and it is taken by Wilson on the 10. He's to the 15, 20, 25-yard line. Tim Wilson, one of the up men, caught it, and McCrary downfield to make the hit from Miami. Bumped him out of bounds, and the Oilers go from their own 26-yard line.
He intercepted that one that time, Jack. They're both there together. Looked like he intercepted it from the other back who was expecting to run it back, but he got it and ran it back to about the 26-yard line.
Now we'll watch Dan Pastorini, the quarterback, Earl Campbell, the running back, and Tim Wilson is in the backfield with him. Wilson is the up back, Campbell the tailback. Ken Burrows wide to the right. Second man through is Campbell, breaks one tackle and gets up to the 30, going over the middle and picked up. Rather than 4 before Bob Baumauer made the tackle. Hurt. He's playing the nose guard. A.J. Dewey is back into action and at full strength for Miami, and that makes a difference.
Yes, it really does. And that time, the Houston team lined up in a double tight end formation that time to keep the Dolphins from having a weak linebacker on the backside on the tight end. They were 7-on-7, but they didn't do much good on the play.
3-yard gain by Campbell. Split backs in the backfield. Pastorini on second down. To Campbell again on a slant to the right side, and he really wrestled down by Kim Bokamper, the linebacker, and that's what Bill Arnsparger, the assistant coach, was talking about before the game. When their linebackers are healthy and roaming, they can stop anybody. Talking about Miami.
Well, you know, the one thing about their linebackers is that they have to be that way playing on the 3-4, but they have to be so active. They have to be able to pursue so well laterally, and this is what they do. That's a great asset they have, and they do it as well as anybody in the business.
Wilson is out. Ronnie Coleman, a good pass catcher, is in, and he is on a wing for Houston on 3rd down and 6 from their own 30. Pastorini on a straight-ahead running play gives the ball to Coleman. Short of a first down, he's tackled near the 35, and it's kicking time for Houston, and a very conservative call by Pastorini. Steve Toll, the linebacker, Bob Baumauer, the nose tackle, made the stop. And a player is down, and that's George Rayner, the offensive guard, and they're already a little short in the guard position, the Oilers are. As in to do the punting is Cliff Parsley.
You know, one thing about this Houston team, and especially Earl Campbell, is very obvious that Earl Campbell is a fantastic runner from the I formation, the tailback of the I formation. He's back there about 7 yards deep, and as a result, he's got a great view of what's happening up front, can take advantage of the pursuit of the Miami team, and he's much more efficient there than he is running sideways from basic formation.
We saw that in the Pittsburgh game, didn't we? There's a timeout on the field. 8:30 remaining in the first quarter. The score, Miami 7 and Houston nothing.
The Colony Pro Shop proudly presents great moments in golf history. We take you now to the banks of the Potomac, where President George Washington is driving golf balls across the river.
I say, I've heard of water hazards, but this is ridiculous. It's a good thing I shop at the Colony Pro Shop. You can get top-flight golf balls at just $9.99 a dozen. But hurry out there, the price is going up soon. Someone in my position must look his best. So I purchased these Etonic waterproof leather shoes for a mere $27, regularly $36.95. And what better buy for a chief executive? Spalding Executive Golf Clubs, a set of 4 woods and 8 irons, normally $558. Now at the Colony Pro Shop, just $279. Well, they've got great Cook putters for only $8.75, normally $15. The Colony Pro Shop even has starter sets for men, women, and juniors, usually $92, now $49.95. Believe me, I need these bargains. Being father to a country is a heck of a financial strain.
Tune in again for great moments in golf history, brought to you by the Colony Pro Shop at the outside entrance to the Northway Mall.
Ordinarily, we don't try to guess what the injuries are, but George Rayner has his knee being worked on now, and he had a knee injury earlier this year. And he is still down on the field while he's being tended to, and that's one thing about these NFL officials, Hank. When there's a player injured out there, they'll give you all of the time, and I mean all of the time that you want before you take them off the field or move them.
That's the way it should be, because you just can't take a chance of moving a player before you specifically know what's wrong. They want to make sure there's nothing broken, and the trainer and doctor are always involved in making that decision, and unless they're definitely sure, they're not going to touch that player until they are given the okay by the doctor and the trainer.
So Rayner is being helped off the field with 1 foot being held off the ground, and Morris Towns will replace him at the guard position. Meanwhile, Cliff Parsley is in to do the punting. He's standing at his 20-yard line, and Jimmy Cepolo is deep. And waiting for the kick at his own 30-yard line. Parsley kicking from our right to our left. Miami showing a 7-man rush. They bring him. They don't get to the ball. Parsley's kick is high. Sends Cepolo back to the 22-yard line. He's up to the 25, to the 30. Dances to the 35 and wrestled down short of the 40-yard line by Dave Carter, a center for the Houston Oilers, who is downfield. A 43-yard punt and a pretty good return by Jimmy Cepolo, the rookie. A 17-yard return with 8:03 remaining in the first quarter. So let's see if the Dolphins can make it look as easy as they did the first time.
And let's see how they start this drive. The last time they ran a great deal to their left and very successfully, both to the tight end side and the weak side. Let's see if they start running to their left on this first drive of this first play of this series.
Greasy, the quarterback, Del Williams, and Leroy Harris are in the backfield with them. They're in the I formation with Williams, the tailback. Moore is in tight on the right side. Tillman, the tight end, on the left side. And Greasy gives to the up-back, Harris, the fullback, and he moves across the 40. He comes out near the 43-yard line, and Steve Kiner, the middle linebacker, met him there. You can tell the difference, will you, with no disrespect to Leroy Harris. When Williams runs with the ball, you know it's Williams.
Oh, that's right. It's a distinct personality, and the same with Campbell. Campbell, I don't think I've ever seen a back get off the mark and hit the hole any quicker for a big guy than Earl Campbell.
Del Williams is a little smaller than Campbell. Williams at 197. 220 for Leroy Harris, the other back. 2nd down and 7 from the 42. And Greasy back to throw. He's rushed on the flip. To the 30-yard line by James Young. The defensive end got through there as the blitz was on. Somebody turned Young loose to try to pick up the blitz, and Young just kept coming.
Yeah, that time they guessed wrong. They had a 5-man pattern. The backs did not stay in there and check like they normally do unless they had a pattern where they just had to release without any checking linebackers. But they guessed wrong, Houston guessed right, and it was a loss for the Miami Dolphins.
That was the 25th sack of the year for Houston and the 5th of the year for James Young, the defensive end, who used to be a fireman here in the city of Houston. And the ball is all the way back to the Miami 30-yard line. And it is third down and 19. Third and 19 for Miami from their own 30. Well, that may have turned the tide a little bit.
Let's see if he runs now. He's going to pass again.
He's back to throw and looks and airs it out long. And it is intercepted out of bounds. Out of bounds. The ball was intercepted by Alexander, but when he landed, he was on the sideline, on his back, and the ruling is out of bounds, fourth down, Miami.
And you know, the other thing involved in that play, the receiver wound up with possession along with the defensive back, and had they had to make that decision, the decision would have had to gone for the offensive receiver. They would have given him possession first and 10.
Guido Merkins is back at his 30 waiting for the punt from George Roberts.
Boy, that was a big play, Jack.
It really was. It was intercepted, but out of bounds. Alexander already has 5 for the year, almost had 6. The left-footed kicker, Roberts, really gets into one. And he drives Mertens back to the 15. He's to the 20 and to the 25, down the sideline, to the 30, and out of bounds at the 30-yard line by Sean Clancy, the tackler. A 54-yard punt by Jordan Roberts. Houston gets the ball for the second time. 6:31 remaining in the first quarter. The ball is at the Houston 30. And with the score, Miami 7, the Oilers nothing. Let's take time out.
Here's Barsman and McCormick for Quantel Business Computers.
Well, today we're talking with another captain of industry. Sir, could you tell us about your company?
Yes, I have a company where I braid people's legs and I manufacture merry-go-round horse eyes. It's a conglomerate.
Oh, sounds complex. Tell me, how do you control this conglomerate?
Very simple. I use a Quantel Business Computer.
Oh, you're a computer expert, too.
Are you kidding? I don't know a thing about computers. I used to think that software was a programmer's long john.
Yes, then why a Quantel Business Computer?
Because it speaks my language.
What language is that?
English, my friend, English.
Oh, you mean like how now, brown cow?
That's the idea. And with Quantel's plain English programming, I didn't have to hire some white-coated wizard to help me run my business. And with the money I saved, I was able to acquire another company for my conglomerate.
What company was that?
A chain of coin-operated marriage chapels.
For Quantel information, call toll-free 800-227-1894. In California, call 415-783-3410. Collect.
Oilers at their own 30-yard line. They've gotten a lot of mileage out of their tight end this year. Pastorini takes to Campbell, swings it out, and it is incomplete. It was intended for Tim Wilson coming out of the backfield, and Pastorini led him just a bit too much as he threw the ball for the first time tonight. Bocamper was in after the Houston quarterback. At second down and 10 from the 30-yard line.
They were in a double tight offense again that time with a tight formation with 7-on-7, trying to get ahead on everybody, making it look like a run. The last time they started their drive with a run from that formation, that time a play-action pass, and they had Bocamper licked, but he threw the ball out front too far.
Second down from the 30-yard line for Houston. Ken Burrow is the wide receiver. Pastorini back to throw after good faking. Lofts it out to the tight end. Barber catches it in midfield. He's out of bounds in Miami territory at the 41 by Rick Fulton, the free safety. Barber, the tight end, had caught 27 passes coming into this game. And he makes a big game now down to the Miami 41.
They were in double tight again that time, which is really a run formation. I'm sure that Miami thought they were going to run the ball from that particular set. He went back in the pocket, threw the ball right on target. Barber made a fine catch and a good run. First down, Houston.
Play action and good faking by Pastorini in the backfield. It is a first down, and here is a delay to Campbell. He goes over the left side inside the 40 to the 38. A.J. Dewey met him there. Dewey, the rookie of the year, a couple of years ago, now in his third season in the National Football League. Healthy now after missing a few games earlier. A pickup of 3 by Campbell, and from the 38, it'll be second down and 7.
You know, they have Castor playing a tight end position, too, and he's like a receiver playing the tight side. He's got great speed. They're in a double tight again with Casper and also the tight end Barber.
On second down and 7 from the Miami 38. Pastorini back to throw. Looks and throws it over the head of Ken Burrow, the wide receiver who had made a hook pattern and stopped, and Pastorini threw it over his head with Norris Thomas covering on the play. Bob Matheson is in there. There's a flag down. And a personal foul against Miami. Bob Matheson, the linebacker, is playing now for the Dolphins. He was injured earlier this year. When he's playing, you know he's out there.
You know, that time they rolled out to the right. Pastorini threw it very poorly, but he had Burrows wide open on Norris Thomas.
Personal foul, number 83 defense, first down.
That foul was on Denherter, number 83, the left end.
Personal foul moves the ball down to the 23-yard line of the Dolphins. For the Oilers, who are trailing 7-0. 2 tight ends. Ken Burrow to the right. Eye formation. Campbell in the tailback spot. On first down, the up back. Wilson dives over the middle. Gets down near the 20-yard line. Tim Wilson, a 220-pounder, was taken down by Rusty Chambers. Inside linebacker for Miami at the 20.
You know, one thing with the double tight end concept, they really put a lot of pressure on Gordon, their fine right linebacker, number 50, Larry Gordon. He's like a defensive end, but by putting a tight end on him, they keep him from going from side to side and pursuing, and it's a very good concept, and it's been very effective so far.
Wilson picked up 4, second and 6, and here goes Campbell hurtling down near the 16-yard line before he's driven back by Bob Matheson. Campbell got up in the air that time, trying to leap over bodies. Going to be third down for the Oilers, who are trying to move for the tying score with 4:47 remaining in the first quarter. Third down and 3.
Okay.
Ball is marked down at the 16 of Ronnie Coleman is in the backfield. Mike Renfro is in as a wide receiver. 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers. Renfro left, Renfro right, 3rd and 3. Back to throw Pastorini over the middle. And it is caught, and it'll be first and goal as Mike Barber caught him in heavy traffic and was covered immediately. It'll be first and goal from the 3. Rick Polk got him down. Barber caught the ball in heavy traffic, and how Pastorini got it to him, I don't know.
I don't know either, but that time they were in a double wing, double tight formation. How he got him open in the middle area. When he threw the ball, I thought it was going to be an interception, Jack. I really did. There's a lot of folks in there, but he made a remarkable 12-yard catch. Houston has possession, first and goal on the 4.
First and goal for Houston, trailing by the score of 7-0. Out of the I formation, Campbell right side, trying to go outside. Does, and he is through the end. No, he is stopped, and there goes the flag. He was stopped short of the goal line, and then a flag went down. Charlie Babb came up from the secondary to put an end to the play. We have a face mask against Miami, evidently. That'll make it first and goal from just outside the goal line. If that's true, it is. It's a face mask violation against Miami.
Jack, that was a great illustration of how well he runs from the I formation. He went inside, it was plugged, he jumped to the outside, but you have great vision from the I formation, and he runs from that position as well as anybody in the business. He looks like a totally different back when he runs from the I than he does from conventional sets in the backfield.
The ball is right at the goal line. Charlie Babb was called for face masking. Pastorini asked the crowd to be quiet as he tries to get either Wilson or Campbell into that end zone, or sneaks it in himself. And on first down, he gives the ball to Campbell, and he's got a touchdown. It's his 9th of the year, and that adds to his Houston record for total touchdowns in 1 year. 8 plays, 70 yards, and they made it look easy, too, didn't they?
Yes, they did. They mixed it up well. But, and of course, they had a couple of penalties on the drive, but they did a good job. They're being very patient and doing what they have to do and what they know they can do well as a football team.
7-6 now, and Tony Fritsch, who has missed 2 extra points this year, will try to kick the extra point with Pastorini holding. Pastorini has bobbled a couple of snaps this season. That's why Fritsch has missed a couple. This snap is good. Down, up, good. 7-7. 3:32 remaining in the first quarter. We have the kind of game we anticipated. 7-7 to score, Miami and Houston. A pause in the action, and let's take time out.
St. Louis.
Tony Fritsch will kick it off. Gary Davis and Duriel Harris are back standing at the goal line waiting for the kick with the score tied 7-all. A good drive by each team. Penalties have played a part in keeping drives alive for both clubs. Referee has given the signal, and here's the kick. It is short, off to the right, flying up to take it is Davis. He bobbles it. He bobbles it on the 20, up to the 25, and a little bit beyond. And Mike Renfro, a wide receiver, and Al Johnson, a special teams player who just came out of retirement, were downfield to make the hit. Johnson always had been a good player for Houston. He retired from the game, came back, and he's a good one. So the Dolphins now are at their 26.
They started to their right the last time they ran from scrimmage. The first series they ran left and had much more success. Let's see how they're going to start this drive, whether they go to the left or to the right. Let's see.
Leroy Harris is the up back in the eye. Del Williams the tailback. Wingback formation off to the left. Now the man in motion for Miami. First down toss to Williams, coming right. Got one block, but didn't get the other. Great defensive play by Houston. Leroy Harris was out there and threw a block, but nobody picked off the inside linebacker, Steve Kiner, who made the hit.
Steve Kiner really got great penetration, anticipation. And here again, Jack, they ran right again and didn't succeed in doing much. They're much more effective so far running to their left.
Alexander really forced the play from the corner, didn't he?
No chance.
So a loss on the play of a couple of yards. Second down and 13, actually. The ball back at the 23 for Miami. Harris, a wide receiver to the right. Moore is a wingback on the left to give to Del Williams running left. And Williams is out across near the 30-yard line before he is stopped by Bill Courier, the safety man. It'll be third down and long for Miami. Miami has Jim Langer up front, with Ed Newman, Larry Little at the guards. Wayne Moore and Mike Current are the tackles. Andre Tillman, the tight end. Del Williams comes out. And Jimmy Cephalo is in as a wide receiver with Matt Moore. It is third down and 8. From their own 28. Greasy straight back. Stays in the pocket, hurls to the sideline to Harris. Incomplete. And Mike Reinfeldt climbed his back after he got his fingertips on the ball and made him drop it.
Matt Moore was in the backfield again that time. He looked like he was open in the flat. But Bob Greasy wanted to get the ball downfield, and the defensive back made a great play on the play.
We have 1 minute and 50 remaining in the first quarter. Miami and George Roberts will be punting for the second time tonight. Roberts standing inside his 15. Guido Merkins is standing at his 30. Not much of a rush. Another good kick by Roberts. Merkins takes it on the 22, back to the right side, the 25. He's to the 30 down the sideline, 35. A flag is down as Merkins goes to his own 40-yard line for Houston. And he always looked for a clip on a kick return. A flag has been thrown. Bruce Hardy was downfield for Miami to make the tackle. 50-yard punt, a 16-yard return, and a penalty coming up against Houston. Start now from their own 28-yard line. We had a holding call. A holding call against Houston on the run back. They're at their own 28. J.C. Wilson, a defensive back, was man who was caught on the hold.
And they're still in that double tight end formation.
Here's Pastorini on a toss to Campbell, running left, dips outside to the 30. He's to the 34-yard line before taken out of bounds by the linebacker Steve Toll. Tim Wilson threw a good block that helped Campbell get outside, and he read the block very well.
Yes, he did, and that's what he does so well from the I formation. And you must credit the tight end, Barber, with a good block. He was on the weak side of the formation on the left side and made a very good block on Gordon, number 50, to make that play go.
Campbell is trying to reach the 1,000-yard mark in rushing tonight. He had 944 at the start of the 90s game, 17. He picked up 6 at 2nd and 4 from the 34. And here is Wilson going for a first down over the right side to his own 39-yard line. Dan Herter, the defensive end, made the stop. Tim Wilson. They're looking for a good game from him because they have lost Rob Carpenter, who had been in the backfield with Earl Campbell because of a knee injury.
Well, I tell you, once you get a great back like Campbell, I'd make him carry the ball 35, 40 times a game, Jack, because, boy, he really makes the sparks fly. And especially, as I mentioned, I hate to keep harping on the point, but he really looks great from the I formation.
They're not paying him that much to carry that offense.
And besides, that ball's not that heavy.
From the 38-yard line, Pastorini on first down to Campbell on a slant over the left. Moves across the 40, goes up near the 43-yard line, carrying Larry Gordon and Curtis Johnson, the cornerback, with him. And pretty good yardage by Campbell. A powerful runner, 5'11", 224, the rookie out of Texas. Now we're coming down to the end of the first quarter, 25 seconds remaining.
You know, the other thing, Jack, is that this Houston team, has to exercise good patience. They have to be satisfied to just move the chains, make first downs, do what they do best, use the play-action pass, utilize the fake to Campbell, and make things happen from there. They're doing that extremely well, and that's why they're moving the football, because Miami is so good moving the football themselves. They got to keep it away from Miami.
They're not going to run another play. The Oilers let the clock run out, and the gun sounds, marking the end of the first quarter. Houston will have the ball, 2nd and 6 at their own 43 when we resume. The end of the first quarter with the score, Oilers 7, Miami 7.
There's a sport for every season with CBS Radio sports coverage on most of these stations. Right now, football is king with our live coverage of National Football League games, plus plenty of postseason events, including the division playoffs, the championship games, the Super Bowl and Pro Bowl. In college ball, the Sun and Cotton Bowls. And then as spring comes on, CBS Radio Sports brings you the Masters Golf Tournament from Augusta, racing's Triple Crown, the Kentucky Derby, the Preakness, and the Belmont Stakes. Summer and baseball were made for each other, and CBS Radio Sports brings you baseball's biggest night of the summer, the All-Star Game in July, plus the League Championship Series and the World Series. And throughout the year, you'll be there with CBS Radio Sports for specially selected golf and tennis tournaments, including the U.S. Open Tennis Championships in August and September. There's a sport for every season on most of these stations of CBS, your #1 radio network for news, programs, and sports.
We start the second quarter. We're under the dome in Houston, Texas. Hank Stram, Jack Buck with you. Not much has been resolved to this point, Coach. All tied up 7-7.
It's typical of what we kind of anticipated going into the game, Jack. They're two evenly matched teams. The Miami team, I think, from an offensive viewpoint, has one of the very fine offensive lines in the game. They're not nearly as good defensively, however, as Houston. And usually, when two great teams play like this and it's a closely contested game, you usually have to give the edge to the defense. So let's see what happens here as this game unfolds.
Two tight ends, Mike Barber and Rich Castor. Wide receiver Ken Burrow to the right, 2nd and 6 from their own 43 for the Oilers. Out of the eye, the toss to Campbell, running left, and he moves across the 45. It's going to be 3rd down and about a yard as he was finally toppled by Rusty Chambers. You can see that Campbell has very soft hands when he catches those pitches.
Yes, he has, and they're not afraid to throw the ball to him either. Jack, as you know, he's caught 9 passes.
I give him a first down as he got more forward progress than I thought he did. Out to his own 49. First down, Houston. They say he can catch the ball, too, but they don't throw it to him that often.
They don't, but he's caught, I correct myself here, I thought it was 9, but he's caught 11 passes, so you know that he can catch the ball, too. But basically, they rely on him as being the sledgehammer back that he is.
From their own 49, and in the I formation with two tight ends. Houston on a quick snap to Campbell, blasting over the left side. Moves down to the Miami 49. He got a couple, will be 2nd and 8. Chambers, the inside linebacker, jammed it up with Dewey and Den Herter. I guess the Miami defense, if it were equal to their offense, would make them about unbeatable, but that's their Achilles heel, isn't it?
Yes, it really is, and it's unusual because Arnsberger has a reputation of being one of the fine defensive coaches, and of course Shula basically prides himself on being a defensive coach too.
2nd down and 8 from the Miami 49-yard line. And out of the eye with the two tight ends, Pastorini this time on a delay to Campbell, slanting over the left side, moves down to the 40-yard line. A flag goes down as Matheson makes the stop. Campbell had picked up enough for what would be a first down, but now would check the flag, holding against Houston. And Hank Stram is right. When Earl Campbell comes flying out of that tailback spot in the I formation, he looks like a different guy than the fellow who's running out of the setback position.
Yeah, he runs with total confidence. He's got an opportunity to go.
Number 76 offense, holding, 2nd down.
The nice thing about the I formation, it provides you with an opportunity to hit the line of scrimmage square with square shoulders, and then you can cut in any direction you want to behind the flow and especially the pursuit of the defense. The thing about the I formation in Campbell, you give it to him one time and he might not gain anything. The next time from the same play, he'll only go all the way because he reads the reactions of the defense so well.
Mike Renfro in as a wide receiver on 2nd and 18 from their own 41. The running play gives to Ronnie Coleman, who was in there, and he gets a couple of yards on a slant over the left side. And Miami is happy to give him that one. A.J. Dewey and Vern Den Herter were the tacklers on the play. So it'll be 3rd and long, 3rd and 14 from their own 45 now for the Oilers. Score tied 7-7. Renfro right, Ken Burrow left. Norris Thomas is covering on Renfro, and Curtis Johnson has the task of tracking Ken Burrow. On 3rd and 14, Pastorini straight back. Has time over the middle, and incomplete. He really drilled it down the middle, intending, of course, tight end Mike Barber, but Charlie Babb got a hand on it. It was thrown so hard by Pastorini that Babb, who had a chance at an interception, couldn't hang on either.
Both teams are using the same formation. Ironically enough, on passing situations, they're using a double wing formation, which means they have two tight ends, two outside receivers, and one back remaining in the backfield trying to get one-for-one coverage. and taking advantage of receivers getting out quickly downfield to pierce the zones.
Cepolo waits for the Cliff Parsley punt. Parsley will touch it off at his own 35, handles a high snap, and he hangs it high. That's a good kick. Cepolo from the 10, avoids one tackle, runs right, he's to the 15 and down at the 16-yard line. Good coverage, primarily by Steve Baumgartner, who made the Houston tackle with 12:49 left in the half. That was a 45-yard punt. A 6-yard return by Cepolo, who had a lot of gumption to handle that punt at the 10 and ran it back to the 16. With the score, the Oilers 7 and Miami 7. Let's take time out.
St. Louis.
We have some good action coming up for you on Thanksgiving Day. Hank Stram and I will be in Pontiac for the Denver-Detroit game at 12:30 Eastern Time on CBS Radio. Lindsey Nelson and Jim Kelly will tell you about the Washington-Dallas action starting at 3:30 Eastern Time. And then a week from tonight, Hank and I will be at Candlestick Park for the Steelers-San Francisco game at 9 Eastern Time. Sunday, December 3rd, Don Klein and Jim Kelly will tell you about the Denver-Oakland game. That's Sunday, December 3rd. But 2 games here on CBS Radio. Sunday, December 3rd, Don Klein and Jim Kelly will tell you about the Denver-Oakland game. That's Sunday, December 3rd. But 2 games here on CBS Radio, Thanksgiving Day. Dolphins are at their 16-yard line. They have scored on a 10-yard touchdown pass from Greasy to Nat Moore. Houston has scored on a 1-yard plunge by Earl Campbell, both in the first quarter. We have 12:49 left in the half. As we're tied, Greasy at quarterback. A long count. He gives to Del Williams. Starts inside, goes outside, outraces one man, moves across the 20-yard line before Bill Courier came up and made the tackle.
You know, it's funny, Jack, how you can get away from things that are really successful for you. Now, they went back, they opened the game with that play and got 13 yards. They ran it again later and got another big chunk. They haven't run it since then. They came back and started this drive with it, and they picked up 7 or 8 yards. But they run much, much better to the left than to the right.
Williams has gained 41 yards already in 6 carries. Greasy is 4 out of 6. 1 touchdown. From their 23. Up back is Leroy Harris moving across the 25 near the 26-yard line, and he gets a first down. The first down for Miami on 2 pops, one by Williams and then one by Leroy Harris. Washington, Steve Kiner, the linebacker, has made the defensive play for Houston.
You know, the other thing that's important, Bob Kuchenberg, their very fine offensive guard for so many years, is now playing left tackle, and he's doing a good job on left side, knocking people off the line of scrimmage and working on Bethia, along with Andre Tillman, blocking on the big linebacker on that side, Larry Gordon.
From the 27-yard line, Tillman goes to the right side. They split the backs in the backfield. Greasy on first down is back to throw. Over the middle, short, and it is caught. It is caught by Del Williams, who slipped out of the backfield, caught the ball near the 32-yard line. Well, and he was dropped at the 34, so a substantial gain. Kiner and Bingham, linebackers, there defensively for Houston. And a pickup of 6 yards on the pass to Del Williams. Miami has come out from their own 16 now to their own 33. Split backs. Harris and Moore are the wide receivers. Here is a delay. Harris breaks a tackle, moves out to the 40, gets a first down, and then he is wrestled down. Leroy Harris, a 220-pound back, broke a tackle by Stemrick, the quarterback, and then Brazil, the linebacker, finally stopped him. He's a handful, that Leroy Harris is.
Listen, that was a trap play, too, Jack. Larry Little did a good job of trapping on the play, trapping the defensive right end, Bethia. And again, they continue to make yardage when they run left they're not nearly as successful when they try to do the same thing on the right side, at least so far in this game.
Miami has about 60 yards rushing, 18 of them by Harris on 4 carries. Out to the 41-yard line. 2 wide receivers on the left side. Moore goes in motion. And on first down, Greasy gives to the up-back Harris, and he blasts out to the 44, near the 45-yard line. But they jam the play from the defensive end spot.
They're sending Nat Moore in motion from the left side to the right side, and Willie Alexander, number 19, is going with him. He's giving him an awful lot of room. I wouldn't be a bit surprised to see some business over there sometime on this drive with the idea of getting the Nat Moore, 89, on Willie Alexander, number 19.
Well, Alexander has intercepted 5 this year, so they've tried to pick on him. Duriel Harris goes to the right. Moore to the left. It's 2nd and 7. Greasy's back to throw. A flag goes down. Greasy throws it long down the middle, and Harris cannot get it. Cannot hang on inside the 25-yard line. A procedure call coming up against Miami. Now, if they decline that one, it'll be 3rd and 7. Courier and Alexander were covering Duriel Harris back downfield.
But he had a good shot at the ball. He should have caught it.
Was not set. Penalty refused. 3rd down.
9:05 left in the half. The penalty is declined. The procedure call against Miami. 3rd and 7 from the Miami 44. Del Williams out. Harris out. Cepolo in as a wide receiver. Nat Moore will line up in the backfield again. Miami on 3rd down has made first down 1 out of 4 tries. Gary Davis in the backfield now as the lone setback. Greasy back to throw. Has time. Good protection. He's running now.
No way.
In trouble and snapped back at the 40-yard line by Elvin Buffet. Buffet and Young were after him, and Greasy said, I better get out of here.
Well, that time Nat Moore lined up in the backfield and went out into a slot position, ran kind of a drag-out pattern just to make enough yardage for the first down, but he didn't have enough time to see him, didn't have enough time to throw the ball, and it's a sack for Elba Bethea.
And when you use the offensive alignment Miami used, you've only got that one blocker back there, and he can't help you a heck of a lot.
No, that's right, and you have to get rid of the ball very quickly or else hope that they don't blitz, but they blitzed that time. Washington blitzed on the play.
3rd punt of the night for Roberts. The left-footed kicker hangs it high. And the ball is touched by Houston, fumbled. And a flag goes down. Houston recovered the ball. And I think we're going to have interference on a fair catch called against Miami, but I'm not sure about that.
It looks like that would be an appropriate call, Jack. A good observation, because it looked like he definitely interfered with his opportunity to make a fair catch.
With a 42-yard punt. The ball was fumbled back upfield by Mertens. He got a hand on it, dropped it. Houston subsequently recovered it, but a flag went down. There is no flag on the play. The official threw his hat, actually, and I think he was just marking the spot where the ball was muffed. Well, let's pause for 5 seconds for stations to identify themselves on the CBS Radio Network.
You're listening to Monday Night Football action on WROW, Albany.
Houston's back at their 13 after muffing that punted ball. Renfro's in as a wide receiver on first down. Pastorini back to throw. He throws and incomplete and interference. Mike Barber was tripped. He was tripped. I think the interference call is going to go against Norris Thomas of Miami. It will near midfield. Pastorini unloaded it from Mike Barber, who's turned out to be his favorite receiver. Interference, Miami. And an automatic first down, of course. And the ball is marked.
You know,
the Houston 49.
Threw a play-action pass that time from a double wing, and the defensive back looked like he pushed him a little bit as he fell, Jack. You can't tell for sure, but it looks like that's what could have happened on the play.
Their feet got all tangled up and then got a little shove, and meanwhile, Pastorini threw that ball with someone hanging on it.
Yes, he did, and he got it out there in good shape.
On first down, here's the end around, and it goes to Renfro on the left side. He cuts it back, and he breaks the tackle at the 45, and he's out of bounds. And then back in at the 41-yard line. Pastorini threw a block. And Mike Renfro on the reverse carried down to the Miami 41 or 2 for a gain of about 9 yards.
Yeah, fans love to see that kind of razzle-dazzle football. I kid him, we call it recess football, Jack. It's the kind of thing you see so many teams do, and do it very successfully, depending on where you do it, when you do it in the game. That time it was very successful and picked up 9 yards on the play. Here's a good waste down, 2nd and 1. Let's see what he does here.
Renfro took a pasting before he was finally brought down. They gained 9 down to the 42 of Miami. Campbell the lone setback. And he carried fake to him. The pass to Renfro on a screen. He gets a half a block, gets a first down inside the 35-yard line. Mike Barber was the man out there blocking for him on the one-man screen. He didn't get a very good block, but Renfro used what he had out there and got a first down inside the 35-yard line of Miami.
Renfro is not a very fast receiver anyhow. He's a very sure-handed one, but he got the most out of that play. It was a good call. They made the linebackers take a sniff at the fullback going inside through a quick screen outside. A very good call and a good play on a waste down with 2nd and he's short.
The ball is to the 34-yard line of Miami. A first down, Houston. And on first down, the give is to Tim Wilson, sliding left. Nothing doing, taken down there by Rusty Chambers, the inside linebacker.
You know,
A.J. Dewey in on the action.
One thing is very obvious, too, that I think Larry Gordon, their outside linebacker, is almost like a defensive end. He's got good size and range, but he's a lot more effective when he doesn't have a tight end on him than he is when they do have a tight end on him.
A pickup of 2 on the carry by Wilson. The ball to the Miami 32, out of the I formation. Campbell, the tailback, and the give to Campbell, a fake, and the pass to the sideline. Caught by Burrow, out of bounds, first down, Houston at the 18-yard line of Miami. Norris Thomas bumped him out of bounds, and Pastorini made a good fake and threw the ball perfectly to Ken Burrow.
That's the ideal situation. They want to get double O on Norris Thomas, 41. They feel that if they have time to throw the ball and they get him on one-for-one coverage, especially in this side of the field, they can work on him. They've done it effectively a couple of times, and I'm sure we'll see a lot more of that as we go along in the game. But a very nice-looking play-action pass.
The interference call kept this drive going. Now it's 1st and 10 at the 18, and Campbell on a pop over the left side goes to the 15-yard line. Baumauer wrapped him up. The previous pass play to Ken Burrow was good for 14 yards. And now Campbell just ran for 3. Pastorini's 4 out of 6. 63 yards, no interceptions, and no touchdowns. Both teams are sharp tonight.
Yes, they are. They're executing extremely well, getting off the ball good.
Bob Matheson checks in defensively for Miami. 2nd down and 7 from the Miami 15 for Houston. Going from our left to our right, Pastorini back to throw. Fakes to the sideline. On the run, he throws it high up for grabs and over the end zone. He threw it away.
Good judgment.
He wanted Rich Castor in the end zone. Castor had drawn heavy coverage from the 2 safety men, Foley and Rick Bolt. So it's going to be 3rd down and 7 from the Miami 15. Charlie Babb checks in along with Gerald Small. Gerald Small in the backfield for Miami.
Vern Denherter, number 83, got some good pressure on him that time, too. And but he wisely threw the ball over the top and threw it out of the end zone, so he wouldn't eat the ball and lose yardage on the play or throw it in for an interception.
Trying for a first down. Houston has made a first down and 1 out of 3 third down opportunities. On 3rd down, Pastorini straight back. He's rushed. He fakes. He runs. He pops the ball off to Barber. A little running pass by Pastorini to Barber, and he gets a touchdown to put Houston ahead here, 13-7.
They caught him in a blitz. And they made Rick Bolt cover 1-for-1, which he does not do very well. Barber made the catch, and credit Pastorini with a good move, getting away from the pressure inside, keeping his cool, dumping the ball off to Barber. He did the rest, went into the end zone, and is now 13-7 Houston.
An 8-play drive, 87 yards, and a touchdown pass of 15 yards for the touchdown. Now Pastorini holding. Tony Fritz trying to make it 14-7 Houston with 4:45 left in the half. He gets it up and through. Houston has the lead. There's a timeout on the field with a score. Houston 14, Miami 7.
This is the perfect time of year to get outside and get up in an airplane. And the skilled professionals of Richmore Aviation, located at Schenectady, Saratoga, and Columbia County airports, are all set to help you do just that at an amazingly low price. For only $10, you can take their special discovery flight. That's all it costs for valuable briefings before and after the flight and time at the controls while you actually fly the airplane at the Richmore Aviation location most convenient to you. So now's your chance to enjoy the beautiful days of Indian summer while you learn a valuable lifetime skill. And now's the time to get up and learn to fly with Richmore Aviation. And remember, there's a financing plan available for the CPC private pilot course. And when you get a pilot's license, you're eligible to enter the takeoff sweepstakes and win an airplane. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. Remember, that's Richmore Aviation, located at Schenectady, Saratoga, and Columbia County airports.
Houston kept the ball for 3 minutes and 40 seconds. They were trailing here tonight, 7-0. Now they lead 14-7, and Fritz will kick it off. Duriel Harris and Gary Davis are back near their 5-yard line, waiting for this kick, and the fans love it here as Houston tries to win their 8th game of the year. And the New England fans love it, too. Here's the kick. Harris takes it on the 8, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30-yard line. Running left, trying to get outside. He's at the 32, 35, 38, out of bounds near the 40-yard line. Duriel Harris with a great return, run out by Courier and Durden. And Miami has fine operating position thanks to the 29-yard return of Duriel Harris. One thing you like to see that return man do, Hank, you're back there to catch the ball and return it. You don't like to see him pussyfooting around back there. Get the ball and run.
You're right. You wanted to make sure to make a decision, right or wrong, make a decision, get up the field. That's what Duriel Harris did that time. He made a decision, he got up the field, ran to the left, and made a nice return on the play of 29 yards.
He's out of bounds at his own 41. So Greasy with Leroy Harris and Del Williams in the backfield sends Andre Tillman, the tight end, to the right side. On first down, Greasy's going to throw it to the sideline. It is caught by Harris. Harris is at midfield, and he gained about 9. Duriel Harris caught the ball. Greg Stemrick bumped him out of bounds with the help of another Greg Bingham, the linebacker. 4:26 remaining in the half. I haven't been watching Don Shula along the sideline. Have you taken note of him, Hank? Is he a little upset or not?
No, he's very good on the sideline. He doesn't lose his composure very much. And the most important thing, really, is that Greasy doesn't lose his composure. He's going to keep sawing wood. He's going to stay right in there. He's not going to get panicky. He's going to do what he knows he can do very well and try to move the ball and get back in his game.
That was a first down pass to the Houston 49. Now a split backfield with Moore and Harris both to the left side. Motion by Moore. Greasy gives to Del Williams, running right on a slant. He is crushed and dropped in the backfield for a loss. Ted Washington, the linebacker, was coming hard and plugged it up.
One thing, Washington is extremely good against the rush, not as good against the pass, and I'm surprised they continue to try to run to their right. They haven't succeeded in doing any business, and why they run to the right, I don't know. They're doing real well running left, but they continue to run to the right on occasions, and that's a mistake.
They're just trying to aggravate you.
Listen, the other thing about it, Jack, seriously, is that you have, the play-by-play on the sideline. The quarterback usually looks at that to see what's good and what's bad, and I'm sure Bob will do that before too long.
Second down and 12 now, back at his own 49, as one of the Houston people, Alvin Bethea, came across and made contact. Now, who's the 5 yards going to be against? Offside against Miami. Well, that's why Bethea was coming. Somebody moved. And even even when that defensive end makes a false start at you, Hank, you still can't move when you're in that three-point set.
No, you got to freeze. You got to put the cement in your shoes and stay anchored, or else it's a penalty.
Kuchenberg is protesting the call mildly. It's a procedure call. Moving the ball to the Miami 44, making it second down and 17.
Kuchenberg is from Notre Dame and very close to my hometown of Gary, Indiana. Hobart, Indiana, was a great player there in that high school league, along with being a great football player for Notre Dame.
Hobart. The ball is at the 44-yard line. Second down and long, second and 17. Jimmy Cephalo in as a wide receiver for Miami. And the quarterback, Greasy's back to throw, and here is a reverse. To the 40, to the 45-yard line, 46, and down goes Matt Moore, with Brazil staying right with him and making the hit.
Matt Moore, again, lining up in the backfield like it would be a passing situation, ran a Statue of Liberty play, a kind of a quick hitting Statue of Liberty play. Brazil did not get fooled on the play, made a very fine reaction, and now it's third down and 14 to go for the Miami Dolphins.
Moore is shaken up, comes off the field under his own power. He is replaced now by Bo Rather, who just joined this team. He's a pretty good piece of property, Rather is.
Yes, I think so, especially so because he played for the Dolphins in the past.
Now he's out, and Bulash checks in.
But he's played for them in the past, and the important thing at this stage of a season, when you acquire a new player, you want to make sure he knows your system. He knows it, so there's no adjustment from him to make.
2:55 remaining in the half. Miami's ball, third down and 14 at their own 47. Only 4 seconds to snap the ball. Greasy's back to throw. As time looks, throws long middle, and it is caught for a first down inside the 35-yard line on a brilliant catch. The hit was by Reinfeldt, and hanging onto the ball was Duriel Harris. How in the world he tucked that ball away, I do not know, but it was quite a throw by Greasy of 24 yards.
You know, the important thing about the play, the reason he was able to maintain possession when he got hit was the fact that the ball was thrown right at the numbers, Jack, and that's where it's got to be. If it was thrown up above and he got hit like that, the ball would have bounced free, but it was right at the numbers. He was able to tuck it away and maintain possession.
2:04 remaining in the half. And on a first down from the 32 of Houston, a whistle sounds marking the 2-minute warning. And when we resume, Miami will have the ball first and 10 at the Houston 32. The 2-minute warning is given, and with the score, Houston 14, the Dolphins 7. Let's take time out.
The new 1979 Buick Regal. It's not only good looking, it's smooth riding, V6 powered, and Buick's most popular car. The roomy, luxurious new Regal. It isn't just a car you're going to like. It's a car you're going to love. And if there was ever a time to have a car this nice, it's now.
After all, life is to
Left in the half. Hank Stram and Jack Buck with you from the Dome. Houston on top, 14-7, but Miami has a good drive going, and Greasy is 7 out of 11. 1 touchdown pass. There have been no interceptions in this game, and Harris has caught 2 for 34 yards. And Houston's hitting pretty hard, huh?
Yes, they are. Anytime they get a shot at an opportunity to use those shoulder pads and that helmet, they're going to give it to you because they're a very fine defensive team. But again, you got to credit Bob Greasy that time. It was 3rd and 14, and he put the ball right on the money. And it's a big play, and Miami now has possession, first and 10, on about the 33-yard line, 32-yard line, going in.
Well, let's see what the Dolphins can do with the remaining 2 minutes of the first half. Mickey Herskowitz, an outstanding writer here in Houston, will be one of our guests at halftime. He's with the Houston Post. First down for Miami. Greasy, a first down pass. Looking left, pops it off to the running back, Leroy Harris. He's inside the 30 and out of bounds, stopping the clock. He was chased out by Bill Courier, the safety man, but a substantial gain for Miami. Those little sideline passes look so innocent, Hank, and the next thing you know, they're 7 yards, 8 yards further downfield than they were.
And that's what Greasy does so well. He utilizes those short possession style passes as good as anybody in the league, and I think one of the reasons, he doesn't have a great gun, a strong, very strong arm, not nearly as strong as some of the other quarterbacks, but he does what he can do very well, and that's what makes him such a great quarterback.
A pickup of 8 on that pass. And And it's second down and 2 from the Houston 24. Here is a delay, and the ball goes to Williams, and he's down near the 20, and he gets a first down. Elvin Bethea and Greg Bingham are the defenders for Houston. Clock running, 1:40 left in the half. It's a first down at the Oiler 21.
You know, the great thing about Greasy, too, he's murdered down in this part of the field. Anytime that he feels he's got an opportunity to get one-for-one coverage, especially down on the 20-yard line going in, he's very, very effective because he reads the coverages very well and gets the ball to the right person.
He's back to throw on first down. Takes a deep drop and throws it in the end zone. And incomplete. It was intended for Duriel Harris, who went high in the air. He must have gone 3 feet off the ground, covered by Willie Alexander. And it'll be second down.
You know, one thing it looked like from here, you can't tell for sure, but it looked like he jumped just a little bit too soon, prematurely.
I agree with you, Hank.
And I think he would have had a chance to make the catch had he timed the jump a little bit better than he actually did. He jumped too soon.
He's 5'11". Willie Alexander covering him is 6'3", but Harris certainly had position on him. And it's second and 10 from the Houston 21. Minute and 16 remaining in the half. Harris goes to the right. Nat Moore to the left.
They got a lot of room on the right side. Willie Alexander.
Greasy back to throw. Look,
there it is.
Throws it outside, and it is caught. It is caught for an inside the 15-yard line down near the 10. Reinfeld made the stop as Del Williams caught the ball. And that's what Hank Stram was talking about, with that back curling out of the backfield in front of the cornerback.
There was a lot of room over there. They were rotating back on the other side to Nat Moore, and as a result, that right side was wide open. They put the back in the flat, and Duriel Harris went to the outside. The play was good for 13 yards.
And a first down, first and goal from the 8-yard line of Miami. Clock is stopped with 1:09 left in the half. Each team has 3 timeouts remaining. First and goal. Greasy on first down, looking, throws out to the left flat at the 5, down to the 3-yard line, and it is caught again by Williams coming out of the backfield, and the tackle by Steve Kiner. And a timeout is called by the Oilers as they try to figure how to stop this drive, which has gone down to the 2-yard line.
In the pass, you know, they like to throw the slant pass. He loves to throw that slant pass to Duriel Harris or to Nat Moore on the outside. As a result, the defensive backs are so concerned about that pattern that the next thing you know, why he'll hit the tight end or the halfback or fullback in the flat. He's wide open. That's what happened on that last play. And, of course, they're right in a beautiful position to score on this drive.
Of course, that's a job for that linebacker, Hank, to stay with the running back, and it can be tough at times.
Oh, it can be very tough, especially when you're concerned a little bit about the run also. And as a thing I mentioned earlier, is the fact that Greasy sprays the ball around so much. You never know what he's going to do, who he's going to throw the ball to, and as a result, he really keeps you off balance, and that's what makes him such a very fine quarterback.
A reminder here that Connie Alexander and Bob Starr will describe the action, the Sun Bowl game from El Paso, Texas, on most of these CBS stations. Be sure to tune in on Saturday, December 23rd. Texas will be playing Maryland in the Sun Bowl, and you'll hear it here on CBS Radio. Well, it's second and goal, Miami from the Houston 2-yard line. Sometimes it can be tough to get in against Young, Culp, and Bethea. Linebackers, Bingham, Washington, Kiner, and Brazil. 2 tight ends are in there, McCrary and Tillman for Miami. Second and goal from the 2. 1:01 left in the half. Miami has 2 timeouts remaining. Williams in the backfield along with Harris. Greasy a long count, gives to Williams over the left side, and he forces it down to the goal line, but not in. And it'll be third and goal from inches away. Culp, the primary tackler, along with Bethea.
They were lined up a little bit tilted. The backs were tilted a little bit like they were going to run right. I was going to prematurely say they were going to run right, but I hadn't seen that formation before with that kind of a tilt. They ran left, which kind of destroys the key. But let's see if they run left again, because that's where they've had most of their success.
30 seconds left in the half. Williams really got low on that last plunge, got to the goal line, but not in. And now Greasy gives the ball again to Williams. He hurdles and got in for the touchdown. Williams from 1 yard out, less than a yard. And if the extra point is good, that'll tie this game and probably give us an intermission score of 14-all, because We have only 21 seconds remaining in the half. And that was a good drive by Miami. They went 59 yards in 13 plays. A couple of good catches by Duriel Harris.
Yes, a beautiful drive. And, of course, any time that you give Greasy enough time to set up and throw the ball, he's got such outstanding protection with his front offensive lineman that he's going to get the ball on target, and that's what he did in that last drive.
Yeah, the pressure hasn't been very great by the Oilers, has it?
It really hasn't. They're going to have to start blitzing a little bit if they expect to get to Bob Greasy.
Strzok holding, gets the snap, gets it down, and Yepremian gets it through. And that ties the game. Miami, a slight underdog coming into this contest, led 7-0, fell behind 14-7, and now they've tied it up with only 21 seconds remaining in the half, and we should have a barn burner in the final 30 minutes of this football game.
Well, we've had a barn burner so far in this football game in the first half, and I'm sure the fireworks will continue to fly all over this park before this game is over with in the second half.
Mickey Herskowitz, who covers the Oilers for the Houston Post, will be Hank's guest here at halftime. Then I'll have the pleasure of visiting with Kim Tomes, who is Miss USA, a young lady from Houston.
Yeah, we're also going to have Pete Beathard, the fine quarterback that used to play for us in Kansas City and also led this Houston team to a championship several years ago. He'll also be on for a few minutes at halftime.
And we saw him in St. Louis as quarterback there, too.
Yes, that's right.
Well, with 21 seconds remaining, we might see Yepremian kick a line drive to try to avoid the long kickoff return. Where were you yesterday, Hank Stram?
Yesterday, we saw the St. Louis Cardinals beat the Washington Redskins in Washington, and it's really been a turnabout for the Bud Wilkinson coached St. Louis Cardinals. They lost their first 8, won their last 4, and they have high hopes and expectations, and they really feel they can win the next 4 and wind up 8-8.
Down here in Texas, they're thinking in terms of a Houston-Dallas Super Bowl. Here's a line drive that's handled at the 35-yard line by the Houston player, Kurt Knopf, a defensive back. He brings it out across the 40-yard line, short of the 45, with 18 seconds remaining in the half. There was an 8-yard return by Kurt Knopf. He was a hero a couple of weeks ago when Houston defeated Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh. Well, let's see if Houston, with 3 timeouts remaining, tries to do anything with the final 18 seconds. They might attempt to get into field goal range. Hope for a pass interference call on a long throw. Renfro is to the right. Ken Burrow is to the left. And here's the running play. And it's Earl Campbell moving across midfield for a good yardage. A quick timeout stops the clock with 12 seconds remaining as Campbell went down to the 47-yard line of Miami with Carl Barish making the tackle. So Houston got the ball with only 18 seconds remaining. They still have 2 timeouts left. Bob Matheson comes to the sideline to check what John Shula wants to do defensively, and Pastorini visited briefly with Bum Phillips on the left sideline. What color boots is Bum wearing tonight? Have you noticed?
Blue. They've got to be blue, and you wonder what Don Shula, you probably wonder what Don Shula has told the defense of the Miami Dolphins. He said, make sure that you don't let them score. That's what he probably told them, Jack.
Yeah, well, Fritz has kicked 2 field goals of more than 40 yards, so a couple of more plays, a couple of more timeouts. It is not inconceivable that the Oilers would score some points. And we wait for this timeout to elapse.
I'm sure they're going to try to get the ball just a little closer some way and call another timeout and try to kick a field goal to go ahead at halftime, 17-14.
They're at the Miami 48, a first down for Houston.
The defensive backs are back there about 20 yards deep.
2nd and 1, Pastorini throws it over the middle and intercepted by Miami. The tackle made immediately at the 30-yard line. Rick Volk went up in the air and caught the ball as it came off the hands of the tight end, Mike Barber. And now with 4 seconds left, Miami gets it. They have 2 timeouts left, and they'll probably just sit on it. What do you think of that New York-Philadelphia game yesterday?
Oh, that was incredible to be winning a game like that. A lot of crazy things happen in the game, and I think John McVay, who I read a comment this morning, said it was the most horrible way to lose a football game that he's ever been involved with, and I agree with him. It's hard to believe that something like that could possibly happen in the last 20 seconds of the game to try to just run out the clock, fumble the ball, and have the other team pick it up and run for it.
Just they fired the offensive coordinator today.
I heard that. That's why it's a lot more fun to be up in his booth, Jack.
The ball is at the 30 of Miami with only 4 seconds left in the half, and the score tied 14-all. And Greasy just runs the play to Del Williams. Williams runs across the 35 to the 40. He's out of bounds, and the clock has run out. And that's halftime under the dome in Houston. The gun sounding the end of the first half with the score, the Oilers 14 and the Dolphins 14. Here's the kickoff forthcoming from Upravian. Johnny Durden and Larry Poole are deep. The ball goes to Poole. He fumbles it, picks it up on the 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35-yard line, and out to about the 37. There's Larry Poole, who used to be with the Cleveland Browns, and he came within a couple of tackles of breaking that one. Norris Thomas was downfield to finally stop him, but the Oilers tied. Have a good chance to get something going here.
You know, you mentioned earlier in the game you like to see a back run for the opposite goal line on kickoff and punt returns. He did just that time, Jack. Really did a good job of bringing the ball back up the middle.
A 31-yard return out to the 37-yard line of Houston. Pastorini has Wilson and Campbell in the backfield with him. And on first down out of the eye, the give is to Campbell. Second man through over the left side. Trying to follow Wilson. He got a couple of yards, went to about the 40-yard line before he was driven back by Dewey and Steve Toll. The second half has just commenced. Earl Campbell got 3. He needs 9 for 1,000. Del Williams of Miami already has more than 1,000. So he's shooting for 1,100 here tonight.
You know, they start the game, Houston does, with their double tight end offense again. That was very effective for them in the first half. And they're doing it again in the early part of this third quarter.
Castor and Barber are the tight ends, 2nd and 7 from their own 40 for the Oilers. Second man through is Campbell, reads a hole up the middle, breaks a tackle, blasts into a tackler. He gets up to about the 48-yard line. He came to near first down yardage, and he does have a first down, and he makes those tacklers pay. He punishes.
He really punishes them again. I'd make him carry the ball all the time, Jack. I'd let him get his rest.
He's over 1,000 yards now. The third Oiler to do so, Charlie Kohler and Hoyle Granger. Do you remember those two?
Oh, they were a pain. We used to play against them when I was in Dallas and Kansas City. They were tough. Great players.
And now here's a toss to Campbell, running left side, and he unloads. And another tackler and gets good yardage again as he moves down near the 48-yard line of Miami. Boy, he can blast you. He weighs 224, and he ran into Larry Gordon. Gordon didn't give up the tackle, but then Dan Herter helped him out.
He's like trying to tackle one of those demolition balls that they swing in the air, Jack. He is really murder. And again, as I mentioned a little while ago, the only time I'd worry about him getting any rest would be between plays when he went from the line of scrimmage back into the huddle. I'd sure give him a lot of business the way he runs.
Carl Mock comes out over the ball. It's 2nd down and 7. Ball at the 48 of Miami. Houston getting the ball here at the start of the second half, and the give is to the other back, Mike Barber, on the end around. He's down inside the 40 and down near the 35-yard line. Good ball handling by Pastorini on the fake to Campbell, and Larry Gordon made the stop, but that's another Houston first down. That happened in a hurry.
Yes, it did. It was a nice-looking reverse. They faked inside and then gave the ball back to Barber to the weak side of the formation, but the backs did a very good job of selling the defense on the fact that it was going to be something inside. They took a whiff of the fake, and Barber was able to run for 13 yards and a first down. Good time for a play-action pass here, Jack. Let's see what they do.
The ball is at the 35-yard line of Miami, a first down for Houston. Ken Burrow, the only wide receiver to the right. Here is the fake draw and the pass to Burrow at the sideline all alone inside the 20. He's out of bounds, and Stram called the play as Ken Burrow went down near the 10-yard line. Rich Castor is the one who caught it, 88. And Norris Thomas made the hit, and Thomas is not getting up. You knew that one was coming, right?
Oh, that was a beautiful play, a play-action pass, and Castor was wide open. He threw it right over the top in great shape. Castor really wound up. He was playing the tight end position, went to the outside, then cut up the field, was wide open, made the fine catch, and it's the Houston possession, 1st and 10 on about the 10.5-yard line.
1st and 10 just outside the 10. Norris Thomas got up, went back into the huddle. Now he comes out. He's replaced by Jerry Small. Houston could get a first down without getting a touchdown, but that would be hard to do. They're just outside the 10. Burrow comes to the right. Castor splits left. Barber, the tight end, is on the right side. And on first down, Pastorini Gives the ball to the up back, Wilson. He drives down near the 6-yard line for a pickup of about 5. A.J. Dewey stopped the play along with Bob Baumauer. And the linebacker, Steve Toll. Morris Towns with a good block on the play. Conway Heyman on the right side.
You know, and Houston continues to run a little bit to their left also. They're doing much better job of running to their left than they are to their right. They're picking on A.J. Dewey and also Larry Gordon on that left side and doing a good job.
It's 2nd down and 5. A toss to Campbell, running left, cuts it back up, goes into the score. A touchdown from the 6-yard line. Campbell is 2nd of the night. He can explode. Tim Wilson drew a block. He used it, Campbell did, and went in from 6 yards out. 7 plays, 63 yards. Houston back on top.
Boy, he's a beautiful piece of work for old Campbell. He makes it look easy, and you give him any kind of a crack, boy, look out. He's going to get it and take it, and that's what he did in the last play, a sweep to the left side.
16 carries for him, 66 yards for Campbell. Pastorini holding, Fritz trying to make it 21-14. All of these extra points, so important. The snap is good, the set is good, the kick is good. And that makes it 21-14. Houston led earlier, 14-7. After trailing at the outset 7-0, they're back on top. And with the score, the Oilers 21, Miami 14. Let's take time out.
When you say Budweiser, when you say Budweiser, when you say Bud, you said a lot of things nobody else can say. When you say Bud, it means you care enough to only want the king of beer. When you say Budweiser, you said it all. Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis.
Hank Stram, not just because Miami is trailing and they are 21-14, they look sort of lifeless, not much like a Miami team ordinarily looks.
No, they don't look like they have a lot of life as they're standing waiting for this kickoff return. But I tell you something, they have a lot of life once they get possession of that football. When the sparks start to fly, and they get back in that foxhole, start to fight this battle.
So it is Duriel Harris, deep along with Gary Davis, standing near their 5-yard line, waiting for this kick from Tony Pritch. I'm really impressed with this Houston offense. It's more versatile than it's ever been, I think.
Yeah, it's amazing what a great running back will do and how much better he makes everything look. And plus the fact that he gives everybody a great emotional lift and a physical lift because they know we get the ball to Earl, he's going to make something happen. We just give him a little room to run, and he's going to do it for us.
When you come down here in Houston and hear them talk about him, they say he is a heck of a kid, and you like to hear that, too.
Yes, that's right. And the other thing about it is you have to give the Houston team a lot of credit for making that trade. It was a great trade and has helped this franchise tremendously.
Here's the kick high down to Duriel Harris on the 6, 10, 15, 20 up the middle, 21, down he goes. Mike Renfro, the wide receiver, a little guy, got downfield and made the tackle.
He doesn't have good speed, but he's got a great heart. And he's a good receiver, and he's going to dance every dance for you. And that's what he's doing for these Houston Oilers here tonight, and has done so far this season. I really didn't know for sure when I saw him in postseason games whether he had enough speed to play professional football, but he's proven to a lot of people that he can.
15-yard return by Harris. Out to the Miami 22. It's the first time they've had the ball here in the second half. 11:44 remaining in the third quarter.
Let's see if they run left on this first drive.
Greasy at the quarterback spot as Del Williams, Leroy Harris in the backfield. The give is to Del Williams. He's hit at the line of scrimmage. He fumbled. And Miami recovered their own fumble. Right at the line of scrimmage. No gain.
You can tell they haven't run that play very often. The first time they run it in this game so far, it was a kind of a counter play, a misdirection, a quick hitting play, but the execution between the quarterback Greasy and the halfback Williams was not good, and as a result, it was a fumble. They're lucky they didn't cough it up and lose possession.
Actually, they lost a yard. 2nd and 11, back to the 21-yard line. Houston is fired up, much more so than Miami as we observe it from here. Harris goes left, Duriel Harris. Matt Moore to the right. Tillman, the tight end, is on the right side. They haven't got much mileage out of him tonight. Moore comes in motion. Back goes Greasy. And here's a little swing pass out here to Harris. He moves across the 25. He's Russell out of bounds at the 27. Little safety valve pass as Ted Washington made the tackle. The pressure was on by Greg Bingham going in after Greasy.
Yeah, the one thing about Greasy, he's never going to panic. He's never going to throw the ball up to grabs very often. He knows he just wants to move the ball and move the chains. He throws high percentage passes. That was a high percentage play. And now he's in a good situation with 3rd and 5, and he's got good control of the defense on this particular series.
Ball out to the 27-yard line of Miami. 3rd down, about 4.5. We'll call it 5 yards. Harris left, Moore right. Greasy back to throw, swings it out here, and it is caught by Bulash. He gets a first down across the 35 and out of bounds at the 37 of Miami, pushed out by Ted Washington.
Another illustration. See, he's just going to throw the ball up the field and move the chains. He threw it to Bulash that time. It was wide open in the flat. Everybody was concerned about covering the outside receivers. Greasy took what they gave him, and they gave him the flat with Bulash first down in Miami.
And Greasy always has something going, doesn't he?
He's got the schoolhouse working all the time. He's always aware of where people are and where he wants to throw the football, and he gets the ball to the right guy. He's an amazing quarterback.
From his own 37, first down. Moore to the left. Uriel Harris to the right, and here's a pop up the middle by Del Williams. Moves across the 40-yard line and got about 5 yards going straight up the middle. Courier came up and finished it off after Steve Kiner made the first hit.
They've run that play 4 times now, Jack, and in each time they've made a sizable chunk. That time they picked up 5. Other times they picked up 13 and 11. I'm sure they've averaged about 8 or 9 yards on a play. And Jim Langer, the offensive center, has done a great job on Curly Culp on a few of these plays where they run to the left.
It's 2nd down and 5. Tillman, the tight end, sets up on the right side. Split backs. And it is Leroy Harris going over left guard, a fumble, and Houston has the ball. Leroy Harris fumbled the ball. Houston has recovered at the Miami 43. Mike Reinfeldt, the safety man, latched onto it. Well, Miami had something good going, but that ball came out into the clear. A fumble, and Reinfeldt recovered. Timeout with 10:13 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Houston leading 21-14. A timeout on the field. Houston 21 and the Dolphins 14.
The Houston team was very.
He's letting it fly. It's right on target. There's never been a Super Sunday like this one. It's Stewart's Make Your Own Super Sunday, an official NFL miniature helmet. For just 99 cents, you get a delicious takeout sundae that you create. Plus, you get to keep the helmet with official NFL team decals. It's complete. Make them, take them, collect them, trade them. Make your own Super Sundays now during football season at all Stewart shops.
He's got something for everyone, and we've got something for you.
Monday through Friday at 6 p.m., The World Tonight keeps you in touch with the important news events of the day. Douglas Edwards and the CBS News team give you in 15 minutes what others would take an hour to do. Comprehensive news coverage and analysis, Monday through Friday at 6 p.m., here on WROW.
Well, we've just had the first Miami turnover of the evening, a fumble. Miami, in turn, has intercepted a meaningless pass right at the end of the first half. Houston scored just a minute and 40 seconds ago. And the sellout crowd of 50,000 plus is putting it on for their Houston Oilers, who start at the Miami 43. With Tim Wilson and Earl Campbell in the backfield. Split backs. Burrow is to the right. And the give is to Campbell over the left side. Down to the 40. Got 3. Was jammed up by Bob Baumauer. What a great find it was for Miami when they came up with Baumauer from Alabama and Dewey from LSU in the same year.
Yes, it was a pick, and we had a big decision to make ourselves in New Orleans at the time, whether to take Dewey, penalty on the play.
Campbell had picked up 3 down to the 40-yard line. A penalty is going to be marked off against Houston, taking the ball back to the Miami 48. Gene Barth, the referee.
Illegal formation.
Procedure call against Houston. too many penalties in this game, but the ones that have come about have helped on the touchdown drives. We've had quite a bit of scoring here tonight. 21-14, Houston on top.
Yeah, they're in a double wing formation again with only Campbell in the backfield.
You're looking play action pass again, right?
No play action.
There's the give to Campbell, and he moves inside the 45-yard line and touchdown at the 44. Couldn't keep his balance. He touchdown prior to going to the 40-yard line. Let's pause for 5 seconds for stations to identify themselves on the CBS Radio Network.
WROW, Albany.
9:41 left in the third quarter. 2nd and 10, Houston from the Miami 43.
You know, Pastorini has been very patient, much more patient than he's been in past seasons, and that's really the difference in the way this team is functioning now, because he's doing a much better job of throwing high percentage passes. Here he is again.
And it is caught at the 27-yard line by Renfro. Mike Renfro went high in the air, made a circus grab with Norris Thomas covering. It was 2nd and 10, and that's a Houston first down. Renfro, the son of Ray Renfro of professional football fame, turned out to be the all-time leading receiver in Southwest Conference history, and he's doing it here in the pros.
You know, he's a very precise pattern runner. He's a good possession-style passer, and they feel that they can work on Thomas, number 41, and they've been doing a good job of it. That time with Renfro, and other times with double O.
From the 27, Campbell runs over a tackler and gets about a yard over the left side. He and Larry Gordon have been meeting head-on over there. Gordon's tough, isn't he?
Oh, he is tough. He's got the strength and the size to be a defensive end, as I've mentioned many times. Plus, he's got the speed and the dexterity to be a linebacker, and he's a good one.
I know over the weeks we've talked, he's one of your favorite linebackers in the league.
Oh, he's a terrific football player, and especially when he doesn't have a tight end on his side. He is really murder.
2nd and 10 from the 27. Wilson is out, and timeout is called. Timeout called by Houston. There was some confusion on their 2nd and 10 play. 8:48 left in the third quarter, and with the score, Houston 21 and the Dolphins 14. Let us take timeout.
Take your contact, take it now. Give your cold to contact.
Before you choose a cold medicine, you should know that no cold tablet, no cold liquid has found the way to give you Contact's continuous relief. One Contact works up to 12 hours. Helps relieve all your congestive symptoms. All day, all night. That's the wonder of Contact.
Give your cold to Contact.
Take only as directed.
We're in the midst of a timeout here. Houston has 2 timeouts remaining. Hank, a lot of times when a quarterback has his mind made up what he's going to do, and Pastorini's calling the bulk of the plays, then a play comes in from the bench that is relayed to him. Sometimes he finds it very confusing trying to fathom what the coaches are thinking about.
Yes, that's right, especially if he's got something definite in mind. A lot of times he'd rather just, and you tell him this as a coach to the quarterback, say, listen, if there's any indecision and you have a question and you feel you see something better, come over here, call timeout, we'll talk about it. We just want to get a touchdown. We just want to move the ball. We don't care who calls the play. And so this is what he probably wisely did, and we'll see what they do on this call.
So as a coach, you don't mind them expending their timeouts like this?
Well, you don't like for him to do it, but if it's an emergency and I'd rather have him call a timeout than make a mistake.
The ball is at the Miami 27, 2nd and 10, Houston. Burrow to the left. Mike Renfro to the right. I want to call him Ray Renfro. It's 2nd down.
The tight end ought to be open if he throws the football. He's going to run the goal again.
Here's Campbell. Ben Herter latches onto him at the line of scrimmage. Campbell goes forward for a couple. Down to the 23-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 6.
You know,
Rusty Chambers helped Dan Herter.
Excuse me, Jack. On the last play, they were back in the double wing formation. It's a passing formation. They felt they wanted to stick it at the right side with Earl Campbell and get it close enough. So I'm sure they feel they want to at least come out of here with 3 points if they can't get a touchdown and use high percentage kind of plays.
Campbell is out. Ronnie Coleman in the backfield for Houston on 3rd down and 6 from the Miami 23. Here's Pastorini looking, swinging it out here to the running back, Coleman. A flag goes down. Coleman is down at the 15. That will be enough for a first down, but now we'll check the flag. Interference against Houston. Interference against Houston. Somebody was pushing off downfield.
It looked kind of like a pick. It looked like they were trying to pick the linebacker so they couldn't cover the back in the flat, and I think that's what happened. Let's see what they called.
So it was 3rd and 6. Pass was caught by Coleman. It would have been a first down, but an interference call against Houston. Caster is protesting.
Pass interference, number 86.
It was a
illegal pick?
An illegal pick on the linebacker by their tight end, which I thought happened on the play. Mike Barber.
So the ball is back out at the 33, and it's 3rd down and 16. That's the 5th penalty against Houston. Each team has been penalized 5 times. 3rd and 16, and they moved him away from field goal range.
Casper looks like he could be open.
Here's Pastorini back to throw, and he lofts it long for Barber into the end zone. Incomplete. Mike Barber was trying to go after that jump ball, and he was being covered by Rick Volk, who kept good position on him. And it is 4th down. That penalty really hurt Houston with regard to a field goal possibility. Now the clock is stopped with 7:55 remaining here in the 3rd quarter. Barber is shaken up and has to go to the sideline. And Clip Parsley, the punter, is coming in. So leading 21-14. Houston is not going to mess around with the field goal, which would have been of a 50-yard attempt.
Yeah, it's too long a shot, and plus the fact that if the kick is blocked wide, then of course they could really be in trouble. They're not going to take any chances. And let's see if this young kicker will kick to his left. That's where he should try to kick because he's a right-footed kicker. And he should try to kick to his left to kick it out of bounds. Let's see what he does, and he does.
He gets a good snap. He kicks to his left. It's near the sideline. It is fielded at the 10-yard line, and the tackle is made on the 11. Charlie Babb handled it there and was immediately bumped out of bounds by Ted Thompson. Well, he knew the ball was going to go out of bounds, and he knew he could catch it, Babb did. So he caught it, but only gained a yard on the return. 23-yard kick, and now Greasy, 12 out of 17. 1 touchdown pass and 125 yards, none intercepted. Goes to work from his own 11. The last Miami possession was stopped by a fumble. 7:47 remaining in the 3rd quarter.
You know, sometimes you wonder why a boy would catch a ball that close to the sideline, but sometimes they think it's going to go out of bounds, and as a result, you're able to run up the sideline in good shape and make good gains.
On 1st down, Greasy with a long count. Gives the ball to Del Williams. He's tackled behind the line of scrimmage and dropped for a loss on the play of 7 yards by Robert Brazil. Brazil, the linebacker, was coming. I don't know what Williams was going to do with that ball.
Well, we talked earlier about the fact that he had to run some misdirection plays. That's what he tried to do there. He tried to look like he was going right and then come back around, but Brazil was blitzing on the play, got penetration, and I was surprised that he would call it at this stage of the game in this field position because, you know, it's a tough play to run at this stage of the game.
Nobody touched Brazil at all. He came flying in there. He tackled him on the 4, and now Greasy on 2nd down and 17 has Moore in motion. He gives to the up back. That's Harris, and Leroy gets out to the 8, and he's driven back by Brazil again. Brazil met him head on, and Leroy Harris couldn't break the tackle. It's going to be 3rd down and 13 from the Miami 8.
This Houston team is really fired up, and of course they're good enough defensively when they're just playing normally, but they're all juiced up here right now, and it's going to be tough to do any real business on them, especially running right at them, unless they do something from a passing standpoint or play action. 3rd and 13, they've got to do something for the pocket if they want to get possession and keep possession on this play.
From the 8-yard line, Del Williams running right, cuts it back in. He gets 1st down. He's across the 20, and he's across the 25-yard line. And he moved out to the 29 for a Miami first down. How'd they make that one work?
Beautiful play, and here again, it's a great illustration how Bob Greasy will keep you off balance. That was a pass situation, and they hadn't done anything running right at the defense. He went outside on a passing situation. Delvin Williams got a good block out in front and made the yardage, and his first down, a big play for the Miami Dolphins.
20-yard gain by Del Williams out to the 28. Well, that really turned things around. On 3rd and 13.
Let's see if he throws now on first down. He hasn't done that very much.
From his own 28, Greasy sets the club. Greasy's back to throw. Screen pass out to Harris. He breaks one tackle. He's to the 25. Tackle for a loss on the play by Steve Kiner. That didn't fool anybody.
No, it didn't. Here again is one of those high percentage plays that he likes to throw, but that time Duriel Harris had a good shot at flicking Willie Alexander on the left corner. He's given him a lot of room over there. Both the Nat Moore and also Duriel Harris. We'll see if he does any business over there in this drive.
Del Williams has run for 79 yards on 15 carries. 5:35 left in the third quarter. Houston leading 21-14. Miami second down and 13 from their own 25. Greasy back to throw. Has good protection. No one to throw to. He starts running with the ball. He's at the 25 and tackled at the 26 by Bingham and Kiner. And it'll be third down and about 12.
One of the few times you'll see Greasy express nervous feet. That time, if you watched him back in the pocket, he was very undecided. I think he anticipated a certain kind of coverage. He didn't get it. And when that happens, his feet get a little nervous. He pity-pats around back there trying to make a decision. And any time that he expresses that kind of an attitude physically, it is indecision, and he wound up eating the football on that play.
Well, he came up with a big third down play a while ago. He's got a comparable situation here. Young and Culp are out. Andy Doris and Ken Kennard are in. Kurt Knopp, the extra defensive back, is in for Houston. And on third down, Greasy back to throw. The blitz is on. They pick it up. Greasy throws. It's caught by Tillman. A flag goes down. Tillman's at midfield and tackled there. And now we'll check the flag. Miami came out to midfield. Brought down by Bill Courier. A little extracurricular activity is quickly broken up by the officials. Brazil and Tillman were trying to mix it up. Let's see what the flag was about as Tillman caught the ball out of midfield. The blitz was on, picked up, and that hurt Houston.
Yes, it did. And
illegal contact, but the defense refused.
We had an illegal chuck downfield against Houston. That is declined. And Miami has a first down at the Houston 49.
And they picked up the blitz nicely, and the important thing was that Greasy spotted the right receiver. Andre Tillman was open in the middle area, got the ball right on target, right before they got to him with the blitz, and another big first down on third down for the Dolphins.
Two big third down plays in this drive. Greasy is 14 out of 19, 147 yards.
See if he throws again on first down.
Yes, he does. He's back to throw.
There it is.
Brings it out to the back. A flag goes down. Leroy Harris has the ball. And Harris is down inside the 45 of Houston. Did they get him for roughing the passer? No, it's against Miami. A holding call against Miami.
Yes, and Greasy did a great job that time of looking to his left. He looked off the receivers, looked to his left. The linebackers got good depth. They had a lot of room on the right side, and then dumped the ball off to the right side. Let's see it. Holding Miami.
The ball is marked back to the 41-yard line, makes it first down and 20.
But he got the ball outside in good shape to Harris, but a holding penalty nullified the game.
4:10 left in the third quarter. 21-14, Houston leading Miami in this critical game under the dome. Miami a record of 8-3, has to win to tie New England 9-3.
Let's see if he runs.
Houston has to win to stay hot on Pittsburgh.
Let's see if he runs the ball now in this first and 20 situation.
On first down, he's back to throw. The pressure's on. He steps up and throws it. It is caught. All alone is Nat Moore inside the 40, the 30, the 20. Cuts it back in, and he's tackled outside the 10-yard line by Reinfeldt. Nat Moore was flying across the middle of the field. When Greasy hit him after avoiding the rush, Kennard was hanging on him when he threw the ball.
Yes, he was, and Williams had all the room in the world. 48-yard gain, a beautiful shot, right at the numbers, and of course it looked like he was going to go all the way, but he really made a great play. Incredible they would make that kind of a gain on 1st and 20.
So the pass went to Nat Moore. And we have 3:39 remaining in the third quarter. The ball's on the Houston 12-yard line.
And this is where he's tough going in. Boy, he's going to get some points anytime he's got a chance to get inside that 20-yard line. Let's see what he does.
Wide receivers, Duriel Harris to the left, Moore to the right. First down from the 12-yard line, and the toss is to Williams going left. Trying to get outside. He cuts it up to the 10. He's down to about the 8-yard line with a 4-yard pickup. Del Williams, Greg Stemrick was the final tackler with help from Greg Bingham and Elvin Bethea. But Del Williams took it down to the 7-yard line. .248 remaining in the third quarter. And it is second down. From the 7.
A lot of room on the right side.
Easy back to throw.
There it
Goes
is.
into the end zone. Broken up and a flag down. It's going to be interference. Was intended for Nat Moore, and Willie Alexander was called for interference, and it'll be first and goal to go from the 1 for Miami.
Defense, first down. There was a lot of room, one-on-one coverage over there. He was all over him on the pass play, and of course they call pass interference. The ball's on a 1-yard line now. And Miami has a great opportunity now to tie this football game if they had the extra point after the touchdown.
Did you
to make
agree
it
with the call?
21-21. Yes, very definitely. It looked like pass interference. They went a bump and run, and he got a shot at him as he released inside. He was wide open, and he definitely interfered.
Leroy Harris and Del Williams are in the backfield.
See if they run right.
Greasy gives the ball to Leroy Harris, and he waltzes in for the 1-yard score. Leroy Harris with a touchdown, and the extra point will tie this one.
You know, that time, Jack, the backs were even, and in that situation, it looks like most of the time they're going to go to the right side. That time they crossed up the tip that they normally have and ran to the left, and it was a big play and a touchdown.
11 plays, 89 yards, and some big third down throws by Greasy and a third down run by Del Williams. Premium trying to tie it up. Don't take these extra points for granted. Snap is good. Strock gets it down. The kick is good, and we have a tie game here. 21-21 with 2:27 remaining in the third quarter. A pause in the action with the score. The Oilers 21, the Dolphins 21, and let us take time up.
The new Buick Century, a practical mid-size car with a remarkably large size inside. A car that gives you an astonishing amount of front and rear seat legroom and a whole lot more in the form of Buick Ride, quiet and comfort. Buick 79 Century. It's good common sense and good clean fun.
After all, life is
A tenacious encounter here under the dome in Houston. First one team and then the other. Greasy 15 out of 20, 195 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. Moore has caught 3 for 85 yards and a touchdown. And Yepremian will kick it off. Larry Poole is deep. And Johnny Durden is back there with him. Durden, a rookie out of Sam Houston. 21 all. 2:27 left in the third quarter.
They didn't look very flat on that drive, did they, Jack?
No, they didn't. You know, when you look back to their last, it was that penalty against Houston that thwarted their last scoring drive, and Miami took it back the other way. Poole takes it on the 6, to the 10, to the 15, to the 20, to the 25, to the 30-yard line and beyond goes Larry Poole, tackled by Wally Pursuit. Bruce Hardy downfield also. So Houston gets it out to their own 31-yard line. A 25-yard return by Larry Poole, who, when he was with Cleveland, had a little difficulty hanging on to the football.
Yes, they were concerned about the fumble part of things that he was involved with, but he's a good football player, and they like him here in Houston.
Let's see how Houston...
I should say Miami.
Let's see how Houston tries to snap the deadlock with Wilson and Campbell in the backfield. Here's Wilson, the up man, carrying out to about the 33-yard line before being driven back by Den Herder and Baumauer.
You know, one thing that you have to be very concerned about defensively when you play against a great running back like Earl Campbell is that you can't over-pursue. You have to maintain good leverage from the backside because he has such great cutback responsibilities and ability. And they did a good job of protecting those areas on that last play.
Miami in that three-man front of theirs on 2nd down and 8. As Wilson picked up 2. Here is a fake give and a sack in the backfield as Pastorini is hauled down for a big loss by Rusty Chambers, the linebacker, who is coming. Latched down to him. Pastorini was still trying to throw but couldn't. And that's only the 10th time he's been sacked all year.
It's feast or famine with the blitz. That time it was feast because they guessed right. Pastorini guessed wrong. It was a play-action fake. By the time he got the ball onto the tummy of the faking back, why, it was all over, too late, and he had to eat the ball. Great play by Rusty Chambers, number 51.
Ronnie Coleman in the Houston backfield, and they now have long yardage 3rd and 21. Renfro, Burrow, the wide receivers. Castor and Barber, the tight ends. Coleman the lone setback, and Pastorini has to come up with something now on 3rd and 21. 1:15 left in the 3rd quarter. Pastorini straight back. Den Herder after him. A screen pass to the left. There goes one block. There goes another man down. Here comes Coleman out near the 30-yard line, but it's kicking time for Houston as Norris Thomas made the tackle. Good call, Coach. It almost worked.
Yeah, here again, you can't emphasize too strongly the good job that Pastorini is also doing from a quarterback standpoint. He is really exercising good patience. He's throwing the ball to the right people. He's not taking many chances. He wants to make sure that he doesn't reduce the size of the field for the Dolphins and give them a chance to take possession and have to go 35 or 40 or 45 for a touchdown. He wants them to earn everything they get, and as well as they play defensively, that's a very sound, solid approach.
Parsley punting for the 4th time tonight. Big rush. He got it away, and it's his best punt of the night. It drives Cephalo back to the 14-yard line. He's to the 15, has few blockers. He's to the 20. He's to the 23. A flag goes down. Andy Doris downfield to make the tackle. A 58-yard punt by Cliff Parsley. And a 9-yard return by Jimmy Cephalo, and then a flag.
You know, Jack, we initially drafted Parsley.
Clipping against the Dolphins. 14 seconds left in the 3rd period.
We initially drafted him 6th in New Orleans. We thought he was going to be a super kicker, but we had the league leading kicker in Tom Blanchard, so we made a trade to Houston. He's really helped their football team.
Personal foul, clipping number 57 on the run back. First down.
That was quite a punt by Cliff Parsley, and adding on to the clip now, it sends the ball back to the Miami 11. Miami scored the last time they had the ball. We're tied 14 all, 21 all, 14 seconds left in the 3rd quarter.
You know, the last time they had possession, they started on 11 and went 89 yards. Let's see what they do here.
Moore to the right, Duriel Harris to the left. Leroy Harris and Del Williams in the backfield in the eye. On 1st down, here's Del Williams trapped in the backfield. Avoids one tackle, but not the other, and he lost about 5 yards on the play.
You know, they started that last drive the same way with a counter play and almost lost Williams because there was no chance for him to make yardage, and the same thing on this first play here in this drive. A very unusual call.
He lost 5 yards as Greg Stemrick came up from the corner. There was good penetration by the forward wall, the linebacker Brazil in particular. He made Williams go outside, and then the cornerback Stemrick came up and made the hit, stopping the clock with 8 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. And Miami has 2nd down and 15 from their own 6. Let's see how magical Greasy can be now. straight pop up the middle by Harris, and he blows it out for a first down across the 20-yard line. With Reinfeldt having to come up and make the tackle. Another big, long yardage play by Miami out to their own 23. A 17-yard run for a first down at the end of the period, the end of the third quarter with a score. The Oilers 21 and Miami 21.
America has been interpreted in wonderfully different ways by our writers and artists and musicians. I'm Charles Kuralt, CBS News. Over the Thanksgiving weekend, I'll be anchorman for a very special series of 40 broadcasts exploring America's 78. We'll take you to such places as Johnny Priest's Saloon in New York, where Eugene O'Neill set the opening of Anna Christie. To Asheville, North Carolina, background for Thomas Wolfe's Look Homeward Angel. We'll listen to music from the Jazz Age in the era of F. Scott Fitzgerald. American writers, you know, introduced a whole breed of tough detective like Sam Spade, Mike Hammer, and others we'll hear about in an unusual bookstore called Murder, Inc. Folk tales, too, in song and story. Pete Seeger will tell us about Woody Guthrie. We'll meet Jessamine West and Maya Angelou. Count your blessings Thanksgiving weekend by exploring America's 78 on the CBS Radio Network.
15 more minutes of football remaining, perhaps more if we go into overtime. We're tied 21 all here at the end of the third. Hank Stram and Jack Buck with you from Houston. The play calling, either from the bench or by Greasy, has been exquisite tonight by Miami.
Greasy, you have to recognize, is calling his own plays, has always called his own plays, and really does that job as well as anybody in the game. That time on a passing situation, he ran a trap right up the middle with Harris. It popped clean as a whistle. Larry Little made the trap block. A beautifully executed play, and it got him off out of the soup, so to speak, and they have another first down situation. A great third down and second down plays by Greasy on long yardage situation.
19 first downs for Miami, 10 by passing, 9 rushing. Williams has rushed for 74 yards, 4.7 per carry. Harris 10 carries, 50 yards. So they're getting it done on the ground. Here's Greasy on a first down pass. Throws it to the sideline, and it is caught out for another first down. The tackle made immediately at the 40-yard line of Miami. Stemrick made the hit as the tackle was made on Duriel Harris. Harris, a little guy, 5'11", 175. Moore, 5'9", 180. But they don't mind being blasted, and they hang on to that ball.
Yes, they do. And, of course, the big thing, again, I can't stress the importance of the quarterback throwing it on that kind of a pattern. It was a hook pattern in front of the defensive back, Stemrick. He threw it right at the numbers, and there's no way in the world you can knock that loose unless you pass interfere on the play.
Out to the Miami 40. The pressure has not been on Greasy, who is 16 out of 21 in the I formation. Williams, the tailback, going to the left side, trying to get outside, and is chased out of bounds. Gained a couple of yards. Stemrick came up, and along with Ted Washington, they ran him out. 14-11 remaining in the game. There was a loss of a yard on the play as Williams tried to go wide and couldn't.
You know, they try to shift their tight end from side to side on occasions with the express purpose of trying to make Washington play pass coverage instead of playing on the tight end. Sometimes they succeed in doing that, but most of the time they try to keep Washington on the tight end so he doesn't get involved in that problem.
Tillman, the tight end, comes out to the right side. Harris is left and Moore to the right. Quick snap by Greasy. Back to throw. Looking down the middle. Throws to the left flat. Incomplete. Incomplete is the call. Coverage over there by Brazil as the pass was intended for Williams coming out of the backfield. So it'll be 3rd and 11. Ted Washington was in on Bob Greasy.
Yeah, he was blitzing on the play, and Greasy threw the ball before he was really ready to throw it. He threw it falling away, but wisely did it because he'd have got a shot and lost yardage had he not thrown the ball when he did.
Now another big third down play confronts the Miami quarterback. Williams is out. Bulash is out. Gary Davis is the setback. Matt Moore is a wide receiver. 3 wide receivers, Suppalo, Harris, and Moore. Back to throw. Greasy.
Andre Tillman is open.
He looks to Tillman, and he catches it at midfield, and he gets a first down. Bingham and Kiner tackle him, but Greasy went to Tillman, who caught the ball. He wasn't at all interested in the touchdown. He just wanted the first down.
No, the linebacker was trying to cover him on the play. They were so concerned about covering the three outside receivers that Tillman was being jammed at the line of scrimmage and covered by linebackers, and there's no way in the world they can do that with Tillman. And, of course, Greasy picked the right guy again, got the ball right on target, and another first down for Miami. That was a 15-yard reception by Andre Tillman.
At the 46 of Houston now, and the Oilers cannot stop the big play. The score is tied, 21-all, with 13 and a half left in the game. On first down and out of the eye. Here is Larry Little missing the snap count and blasting on through into the linebacker Kiner, and it'll be a procedure call against Miami.
Yeah, those are the kind of mistakes you don't see Miami do very much. Or many times, because they're a very seasoned team. They're a very disciplined team.
Ball start, number 66
When he missed that snap count, everybody here in the stadium finally got to see how hard those guards are coming off the ball, because he flew into that Houston secondary, didn't he?
Yeah, and make sure that you always tell him if you're going to make a mistake and jump offside, make sure it's worthwhile. Hit somebody and you make...
War again from the Dome in Houston.
Hit somebody and you make good contact.
Now they make some changes up front. Doris and Bernard are in there. Fresh rush people. On first down and 15 from their own 49. Here's the running play to Leroy Harris. Gets across midfield, picks up 2 yards.
They ran so well a little while ago with Larry Little trapping on the play, but they played it well that time and didn't succeed in making much yardage on the play, maybe a yard.
But they and Baumgartner were in there defensively. And it is second down and 13. From the 49 of Houston, with the score tied 21-all. 12:50 left in the game. On second and long, Greasy back to throw. Looks and throws it over the middle. Moore makes a diving try, but it's incomplete at the Houston 25. Willie Alexander was covering.
You know, Jack, the Houston team went into this game, I should say, by being number one defense in the American Football Conference. It's amazing. Thus far in the game, the Dolphins have made 347 yards total offense. The Oilers have made 236. Quite a dramatic difference at this stage of the game.
On a third down situation, Miami has picked up a first down 6 out of 10 tries. And it's third down and 13. Greasy's been doing it all night. Yes, Cephalo in as a wide receiver. Tillman, the tight end on the right side.
Matt Moore is in the backfield again. Let's see if they try to match him on a linebacker. There he is.
Greasy back to throw. Looks and throws long, and Duriel Harris dropped the ball at the 25 as he was blasted by Courier. Courier made him cough it up, and Duriel Harris is slow getting up. And he made a valiant effort for the ball.
Yes, he did, and Andy Doris was also in on that play. Number 69, the defensive left end, did a good job of putting pressure on Greasy to make him throw the ball, but he got it right on target. Harris just dropped the football. That's all there was to it.
12:32 remaining in the football game. And Miami into a punting situation. Greasy 17 out of 25 now, 227 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. And they're tending to Duriel Harris. On the small side, as we told you, 5'11", 175. And he was really ripped by Bill Courier, the defensive back. Well, Thanksgiving, for CBS Radio, Hank Stram and I will be at Pontiac, the Silverdome, for the Denver-Detroit game at 12:30 Eastern Time. That'll be followed by the Washington at Dallas game at 3:30 Eastern Time. Lindsey Nelson and Jim Kelly will be on air. We'll continue with our wrap-up in just one moment. Eastern Time, Lindsey Nelson and Jim Kelly will be on hand for CBS Radio and the story of that game. A week from tonight, the Steelers play at San Francisco, 9 o'clock start Eastern Time, for that Sunday night game on December 3rd, Denver at Oakland. Harris is up, shaken, but walking off the field. And now it's kicking time for George Roberts, the left-footed booter of the Dolphins. He's kicked 3 times, averaging almost 49 yards a kick. Guido Merkins is standing back at his 10. Household name. We wait for the snap. And it's a fine kick angling out of bounds, and Roberts gets it out of bounds at the 4-yard line of Houston. George Roberts with a dandy. That's the 14th time he's kicked it out of bounds inside the 20 this year, and that was a 47-yard kick by George Roberts. 12:25 left in the game. There's a timeout on the field. With a score, the Oilers 21, Miami 21.
For more than 155 years, the initials TSB have always meant Troy Savings Bank to people in this area. Well, that hasn't changed. Instead, the initials have taken on an additional meaning. TSB, the Super Bank, offering super certificates of deposit and passbook savings, all paying the highest interest rate permitted under current regulations. Super Savings Bank life insurance plans, super locations, all open Friday evenings and Saturday mornings, and all with drive-up facilities. Super all-free checking accounts with overdraft privileges available, and other super services such as direct deposit of government checks, mortgage and home improvement loans, student loans, bank by mail, and most importantly, super service from super people, dedicated, interested, and friendly people. Yes, there are a lot of banks, but this is a lot of bank. TSB, the Super Bank, Troy Savings, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
$51,874 paid, standing room only here in Houston. Denborough goes to the right. It's a first down from their own 3-yard line for the Oilers, and they better not drop the football.
They're still in a double tight end formation.
And on first down, a long count by Pastorini. Pastorini fakes to Campbell from the end zone. He's tackled for a safety. A.J. Dewey tackled him for a safety, and Dewey is hurt. He might have hurt his hand on the helmet, but he tackled Pastorini for a safety with 12:20 remaining in the game. And now Houston will have to kick the ball. Houston will have to kick the ball to Miami.
Dewey looks like he's got a bad shoulder or a bad arm or something. He looks like he's in a severe pain. Well, let's see what happens here and what the call is as far as his injury situation is concerned. We'll get the information in just a few moments.
Well, that puts Miami ahead again. 23-21, and a free kick will be forthcoming as Dewey goes to the sideline. He made a big play. He wasn't fooled at all by the fake to Campbell. Either that, Hank, or he just ran by the play inadvertently.
Well, what happened? Somebody failed to block on the backside. It was a play-action pass, and they were in a double tight end situation.
Evidently, Fisher is the one who missed the block then.
Yes, because somebody blew the situation because he got in there freely and winds up with a safety. The Oilers now behind 23-21.
First safety we've seen this year, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
They had one yesterday in the Denver game. Davis goes back for Miami. Gary Davis and Duriel Harris, who was injured earlier, he's back in there. And Parsley is going to punt it from inside his 20-yard line. So they have to give up the ball, the Oilers do. And here's the kick. It's high in the air, taken on the 31 by Harris to the 35 to the 40, 45 to 50. Down near the 45-yard line of Houston goes Duriel Harris before he was topped by Guido Merkins. And Miami's in great shape. A 24-yard return by Duriel Harris. I thought perhaps they'd get better coverage down underneath that punt, Hank. But, you know, with the new rule where only 2 men can leave, I wonder how many times they practice that free kick coverage.
Well, you do it every week, I assure you that, because you never know when it's going to happen. A.J. Dewey is leaving the field, but he doesn't look like he's expressing nearly as much pain as he did a minute ago. He's moving his arm, his left arm, in pretty good shape, so evidently it isn't anything overly serious.
Miami starts from the 45 of Houston. And the score here would really hurt the Oilers. Greasy on first down is back to throw. Steps up in the pocket and throws it long for Harris. Incomplete, and a flag is down. There's going to be interference against either one or the other. the receiver Harris or the defender Willie Alexander.
Oh, they call it on Alexander.
And they call it on the defender Willie Alexander. That's the second time tonight. It'll be a holding call rather than interference or an illegal chuck.
Yes, he went right at Alexander and then tried to go to the outside.
Illegal chuck.
5-yard penalty, first down.
That's what it was, an illegal chuck, and he went right at him and tried to break to the outside, but gave him a shot, and as a result, he's holding on the play.
12:04 left in the game. Miami a first down now at the Houston 40-yard line, and Miami leading 23-21. Harris to the right, Moore to the left.
See if he runs left.
Tillman, the tight end, is on the left side. On first down, Del Williams runs left. He's pursued, hit from behind, and taken down. Might have squirted for a yard. Ed Washington, whom Hank Stram told you plays the run very well, played it well that time.
And, when they've run with any degree of success to the left side, they've run inside of Bethea and inside of Washington. That time he started inside, tried to go outside, and they responded well to what they saw, made the tackle, no gain on the play.
No gain. And Norm Boulash comes in. 2nd and 10 from the Houston 40. This Houston defense is capable of buckling down and stopping you cold. Greasy, on the other hand, has really been moving his club tonight. 347 yards. He's back to throw, swings it out to the side to Tillman. He gains about 6 yards on the play before he's tackled by Courier. Tillman's a handful to try to get out at 6'5", 230. Played at Texas Tech. And the ball is marked at the 35 of Houston, making it 3rd down and 5.
Greasy is really, I just marvel. It's fun to watch him play quarterback because he really slices. He's like a surgeon. He really cuts you up into little pieces, doesn't try to get all of it at one time, except in situations where he knows you're in man-for-man coverage and you get inside that 30 or 20-yard line. Then he goes deep, and boy, he's a master at cutting you to pieces on those short possession-style passes.
3rd and 5 with Moore in the backfield along with Gary Davis. Greasy on 3rd and 5. His blitz to throw. They pick up the blitz. The pass is incomplete. Off the fingertips of Moore and almost caught by Harris. It's 4th down for Miami.
Matt Moore was in the backfield again that time. They were trying to work him on a linebacker. He was wide open, and you don't see him drop many like that, but he dropped that one, and it's a 4th down situation now. 4th and 5 for the Dolphins.
So the punter, George Roberts, will come in and try to do what he did moments ago. Kick that ball out of bounds inside the 5, which set up the safety. 11-11 remaining in the game. 23-21 Dolphins. Roberts, the left-footed kicker, the rookie from Virginia Tech. We know Merkins is the lone safety, and he doesn't expect to handle this ball. He'll either go into the end zone or out of bounds. Now a whistle sounds, a flag is dropped, too much time, so Roberts will have to kick 5 yards further back, and that won't hurt him too much, but couldn't help him.
No, that's right. It didn't make any difference, and it looked like maybe they were even trying to deliberately delay because it gives them a little better shot and a little better angle to try to kick the ball out of bounds. I don't know. Maybe that's what they're thinking was.
Still 11 remaining in the game. 23-21 Miami. Roberts has kicked 4 tonight and averaged 48 yards a kick. We wait for the snap. And Roberts kicks it, a line drive into and out of the end zone, a touchback, a 40-yard kick. It'll come out to the 20-yard line. So Houston trailing by 2. They stopped him on that drive, Hank, and that was a big one.
Yes, it was a big one. They had to do something on that last drive, and they did. But the important thing now is they have to do something offensively, and they've got 80 yards to go to get at least 3 points or 7 on the board.
11:04 left in the game with a score, Miami 23, Houston 21. Let's take time out.
You say you care enough to only want the king of fear. There is no other one. There's only something there. Because the king of beer is the meaning all the rest. When you say Budweiser, you said it all.
Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis.
Earlier in this game, George Rayner was injured, a guard of Houston. He has his leg all wrapped up. He's on the bench. He's got a pair of crutches. We won't see him back tonight. Pastorini starts at his own 20. He tosses the ball to Campbell, running right, gets outside, gets 5, 6, 7, 8 yards. Earl Campbell with a block by Tim Wilson. And Ken Burrow, the wide receiver, also blocked well, and Rusty Chambers made the tackle.
Yes, Doug Betters is playing right in now for the injured A.J. Dewey. And let's see if they do a little business on that side when they want to run also. Let's see what they do.
10:40 left in the game. A pickup of 8 by Campbell, 2nd and 2 from the 28. Wilson and Campbell in the backfield. The give us to the other back. That's Wilson. It appears he has a first down as he got to the 30. Vern Den Herter picked him up in the air, but first down, Houston. And now they have 70 yards to go. Or less, considering a field goal, because they're only 2 points behind. A.J. Dewey is out, and Doug Betters is playing the right defensive end position. Baumauer, the nose tackle. Den Herter, the other end. Running with the ball is Wilson. He moves forward for about 4 yards, straight up the middle. Baumauer latched onto him. The linebacker jamming in there with Rusty Chambers. Now we're under the 10-minute mark remaining.
You know, the other thing that's impressive is the way both quarterbacks, both of them show an awful lot of poise. They know what they have to do. They know how to get it done, and they're going about it in a good big league fashion. That time they changed the cadence a little bit and went on the early counts.
2nd and 7 from the 33. Pastorini, a screen to Burrow. Waits for a couple of blocks. He moves across the 40. Has a first down. Takes loose in midfield to the 45 of Miami before he stops. A big play on a screen pass to Ken Burrow, and Miami couldn't bring him down. They finally did with Doug Betters catching up with the play, along with Kim Bocamper. But the ball is into Miami territory, down to the Miami 44.
Boy, he stretched a 4 or 5 yard gain that time, Jack, in a one that was good for 25. A good time here again for a play-action pass on 1st and 10. Let's see what he calls.
8:49 remaining in the game. First down at the Miami 44. Out of the eye. A toss to Campbell, running right. Gets a couple of good blocks and blows through for about 9-10 yards. Earl Campbell leading up the turf here. Norris Thomas and Tim Foley stopped him. And Earl Campbell picked up 9 yards, almost 10 on the carry.
And Tim Wilson did a good job of blocking on the play that helped make that yardage.
That's the first down.
First down, Houston.
Campbell has carried 20 times, 89 yards.
You know, they ran a play-action pass earlier on Bocamper, and the back was wide open. They haven't come back to that yet. I'm sure they will somewhere along on this drive.
From the Miami 33, Houston really putting it together here. Trailing by 2 points. Pastorini on first down. Has the ball, gives to Campbell on a delay, and he is hit at the line of scrimmage and gets a yard, if that. Tried to slant over the right, and Baumauer and Den Herter would not give way. Now we're under 8 minutes left in this game.
And Rusty Chambers that time also was in on the play. It was underneath the pile and made a shoestring tackle. A very good play by Rusty Chambers. But the left side with Betters in there, you'd think that they would do a little business over there rather than running on Den Herter. Let's see where they run this time.
7:35 left in the game. Clock running. Miami leading 23-21. 2nd and 10, Houston. Here's a screen pass to the right side. And it's complete and moving down to Castor down near the 25-yard line. Good yardage that time by Houston. Steve Toll and Doug Betters tackled him. It's going to be a 3rd down play coming up as Rich Castor got that screen pass right for a 7-yard gain. 3rd down and 3. Schumacher, the guard, brings in a play. Burrow, the wide receiver, goes out. 2 tight ends will be in there, Barber and Castor.
I guarantee you they're going to run the ball here. At least I think they would. They got 2 downs to make 3 yards. Let's see what they do.
3rd down and 3 from the 26 of Miami. Campbell, a setback. Motion by Castor. The give to Campbell. He gets some blocks. He gets a first down over the right side before he stopped. The first down, Houston. Boy, he's a good bread and butter man. Aren't many teams can hand it off to a running back like him.
No, and that's why you want to just keep giving it to him and let him rest going back into the huddle because, boy, he's a sensational back, and he really makes things happen. You want to give the ball to him as much as possible. He makes everybody else look like they're running slow motion.
Pastorini is 10 out of 16, 155 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. A first down at the 20 of Miami. And Pastorini gives to Wilson, and he moves in for about 5 yards over the left side. Then cut it back up the middle. He got down to the 15-yard line with a gain of 5. Cole and Chambers tackle him, but Houston really eating him up front.
Oh, they're really getting off the ball and controlling the line of scrimmage. They're a very inspired football team, and this crowd here tonight is really inspirational and a big help, I'm sure, to these players who are giving everything they have to win this football game against this fine Miami team.
It is second down and 4 from the 15-yard line. The up back is Wilson. He gets about 2 of that. It'll be third down and 4 as he goes over the left side. Now we have 5.5 minutes remaining in this football game, and there'll be less than 5 the next time it's snapped. Rusty Chambers combined with Baumauer to make that tackle. Here's a 3rd and 2 for Houston, and who do you think's going to get it?
Yeah, just make a guess. It's hard to anticipate who's going to get this ball, Jack, isn't it? If Campbell doesn't get it, we better have an investigation.
Last time Campbell handled it, it was 3rd and 3, and he got the first down. Now it's 3rd and 2. 5 minutes exactly remaining in this football game. Out they come at the Miami 12. Third down. If they don't get it here, they'll have to settle for a field goal try. Here's the toss to Campbell, running wide, cuts it up. First down, touchdown. Touchdown for Earl Campbell from 12 yards out. Tim Wilson made a big block along with Ed Fisher. And once he saw that hole, Campbell just went zooming into there to put the Oilers on top 27-23 with only 4:46 remaining.
Boy, does he fly. I just can't get over how he explodes off the line of scrimmage and fights his way through traffic. They looked like they had some kind of an angle on him that time, but by the time they got to him, he was gone.
He's over 100 yards, 106 on 23 carries. And now leading by 4, here's the extra point. Try by Tony Fritz. 4:46 remaining. Miami will still be within a touchdown of winning. Fritz makes it good. 28-23. 4:46. What a drive that was. What a drive after the Miami punt. With 8:45 remaining, they knocked off more than 4 minutes. And Houston has regained the lead. 4:46 left. The score is Houston 28. Miami 23. Let's take time out.
When you say Bud, you said a lot of things nobody else can say.
Fritz will kick it off. Duriel Harris and Gary Davis stand at their 5 waiting for the kick as Miami is still within a touchdown of winning this game.
And with Greasy at quarterback, 4:46 left. There's a lot of time the way he operates. He's a master, especially in the 2-minute offense.
A game like this, you will seldom see a safety that doesn't really figure into the scoring when it's all over.
Greasy so far has completed 18 of 27 for 232 yards.
Well, let's see where they end up with the ball. Rich kicks it high. Taken by Harris on the 10. Up the middle, 15, 20-yard line. And to the 25, a loose ball. And evidently, Miami got it back. Miami has a long way to go from their own 26. And it was Mike Renfro downfield again, the little wide receiver, to make the tackle. A 16-yard return by Duriel Harris. Miami has it on their own 26. Sellout crowd, 51,000 plus, eating it up here. And the people rooting for New England like the score at the moment. Greasy on first down. And Leroy Harris and Del Williams in the backfield. Long count. don't get it done. And the next time it's snapped, there'll be about 4 minutes left in this game.
You know, the nice thing about those kind of plays, Greasy is smart enough to know that at least any time he runs a draw or a screen or gets rid of the ball quickly, it's very discouraging to the pass rush. And he gives him that much more time to throw when he has to throw. And he's very cunning and very sharp in that particular respect.
Second down and 8 from their own 27. 4 minutes left for Miami. They're trailing 28-23. Greasy's back to throw. He looks, sets, throws to the sideline, and it is caught by Duriel Harris, and he is tackled at the 43 of Houston by Willie Alexander. And had he avoided Alexander, he might have scooted in.
He ran a post flag pattern. He ran to the inside on Alexander. Alexander turned completely with his knees to the inside. Greasy threw outside. Is a beautiful move. Perfect spiral right at the numbers. Nat Moore makes the catch. And I'm sorry, it's Duriel Harris who made the catch. Beautiful move by Harris. First and 10 Miami.
And the field goal's not going to do it for him. 3.5 minutes left. Trailing by 5. First down at the Houston 33. What a football game. Harris right, Moore left, Tillman the tight end, split left. On first down from the 42. Greasy back to throw over the middle. Tillman. Intercepted by Houston. Linebacker Trainer has it. And a flag goes down. As Snyder went down at his own 17. It went off the hands of Reinfeldt or Tillman into the hands of Snyder for an interception. Houston has the ball, and then a flag fell.
Reinfeldt really made a great play, Jack, didn't he? It looked like Tillman was going to be, it looks like it's against Houston.
A clipping call, but that doesn't matter. They still have the ball.
Yes, that's right.
That's the first one picked off on Greasy tonight. Steve Kiner came away with it. That's his first interception of the year on a tip ball with only 3:05 left in the game.
One thing sure, he's not going to throw a play-action pass from back here, Jack, I'm sure.
Or take another safety, although he could afford to do that if he got down to a bad situation.
Yeah.
3:05 left. They'll try to grind it out. Miami has 3 timeouts remaining. Houston leading by 5. They have it at their own 7-yard line after the penalty. And Pastorini gives to Campbell, or to Wilson, straight up the middle. Moved across the 10. And he got 4.5. Chambers and Foley tackled it.
That time they did run it better, and you would think that they would because he's a replacement for A.J. Dewey. They ran well on that side earlier in the game, and I wonder if they will continue to run to the left side. It makes a lot of sense that they would, instead of running to Denherter on the other side.
Wilson got 4 out to the 11. Second down and 6 from their own 11 for Houston. 2.5 minutes left. Houston leading by 5. Pastorini sets his club, gives to Campbell up the middle. He is out to the 19-yard line. Close to the 20. It's going to be third down and 2.5. Doug Fetters and Rusty Chambers made the tackle. 2:15 left, and Miami uses one of their timeouts. They have 2 remaining. They'll also get the 2-minute warning timeout. And this game is going down to the wire. Pastorini to the bench to talk it over with Bum Phillips. Houston leading 28-23. What a drive Houston put together to score that last touchdown.
Yes, it was a fantastic drive in a pressure situation, but they expressed a lot of poise, a lot of confidence, and got the job done, and that's what it's all about. And that's what you have to do if you anticipate and expect to go to the playoffs and eventually go to the Super Bowl. That's the kind of football that you got to play, and both teams are playing that way here tonight. It's a great effort on the part of both the Miami Dolphins and the Houston Oilers. And you know, Jack, they're in a double tight end situation, and every time they have run to the flanker side or to the right side or to the side of the flanker. They have not run very much away from that flanker. It looks like they could from the I formation. Let's see if they try to do it somewhere on this drive.
It's the most points Houston has scored all year, the 28. And you could say, speaking generally, that if they get this first down now with 2.5 to go from their own 14-yard line, they really have a leg up on this victory. On the other hand, with a fellow like Greasy at the controls, If Miami stops Houston on this play and Houston's forced to punt, Miami will get the ball somewhere beyond their own 40-yard line.
Yeah, and any time he has a chance in that 2-minute offense, boy, he is murdered.
Okay, so it's a big play. Miami punches it up. They don't expect him to throw it all. And motion is shown. Here is the give to Campbell, and he gets a first down up the middle. He came out to the 18. Rick Bolt stopped him, but Campbell was a man possessed as he went roaring up the middle for a Houston first down. And there's the 2-minute warning. But prior to that, let's pause 5 seconds for stations to identify themselves on the CBS Radio Network.
WROW Albany.
And now, with the 2-minute warning having been given, there's a pause in the action with a score. Houston 28, the Dolphins 23, and let us take time out.
Weekends were made for sports, and we got them for you on most of these CBS Radio Network stations. I'm Win Elliott, and I'm here 11 times on the weekend, leading off with Sports World Roundup Saturday morning. We recap the games, the great plays, and the scores of the Friday night contest, and then throughout Saturday and Sunday, I bring you 8 Sports Central USA broadcasts, the highlights and features and interviews, plus the action of the day as the scores begin piling up. Saturday and Sunday, too, it's weekend worldwide sports. We go around the world to pick up international events wherever they're making news. Late wrap-ups, you bet. Jeff Scott's here with Sports Time, on the air when most of the games are decided. And you want more? Then listen here for Pat Summerall's predictions on Saturday and his sports profile on a team, a player, or a top sports story on Sunday. And that's just the weekend. Sports, right here. CBS, your #1 radio network for news, programs, and sports.
Not only is Houston winning 28-23 with 2 minutes left, they have a first down at their own 18-yard line, but Hank, as they strive for a victory, making their record 8-4 if they win, they look about as good as anybody. They look like championship caliber.
Yeah, they really do. They've really increased the efficiency of their football team this year because of the balance of the run and the pass.
And they have a first down at their own 18. Campbell is a setback. Castor was on a wing. He's in motion. The give to Campbell. He got bounced as he got to the 20-yard line, going over the left side. Picked up 2, 2nd and 8. Clock running. And it's down to 150. Miami has 2 timeouts remaining. I should think they'd use those timeouts here, Hank. It's not going to matter how many timeouts they have left if they don't get the ball back.
That's exactly right.
I would have used one right there. Would you?
Yes, sir. 2nd and 8. Yeah, I'm surprised that they didn't call a timeout there. They stopped them in good shape. 2nd and 8 coming up.
From the 20-yard line with 1:28 remaining. Out of the I formation with Wilson and Campbell. The toss to Campbell. Avoids the tackle in the backfield. Moves across the 20, 25, 30 down the sideline. Hit from behind. He's still going. He might go all the way. And he is in for his 4th touchdown of the night. Ices it an 80-yard run. And the Oilers now go on top 34-23. On a 2nd and 8 play. Charlie Babb, the last man to try to get him, and they couldn't get him. He's run for 195 yards.
Boy, I'm telling you, he's ready for the Hall of Fame, Jack. Isn't he? He's a tremendous football player. And, of course, the great thing about him is he gets off the ball so quickly, runs with great balance, with great power, and to be able to run 80 yards this late in the game after running on 26 other occasions, boy, he is something special.
I tell you, a while ago when he made that first down on 3rd and 3, I thought it was something. And here he sprints 80 yards. The man is 5'11", 224. Jim Wilson threw a key block for him that sprung him loose. And this crowd went bananas down here in Houston. And I think I did too. Campbell is being given the glad hand here in standing fashion by a sellout crowd under the dome. He is a piece of work.
He really is. It's been a long time since I've seen a back come into the league as a rookie and run like he's run.
Here's the extra point attempt by Fritz. Up and good. A 12-point lead for Houston with 1:11 remaining. Well, a good course, can run 6 furlongs and 111, but I don't think anybody can score 12 points against Houston in a minute and 11 seconds.
Not the way they feel emotionally at this stage. The Miami team is very adept at this kind of a thing, moving the ball in the 2-minute offense, but boy, it's got to be a miracle for them to get back in the game now.
That run was officially 81 yards. What does that give them?
27 shots, 199 yards. Boy, it's incredible.
You know, Hank, I really kind of think, and this is not a second guess because we mentioned it at the time, after stopping that first running play, Miami didn't call timeout, and almost a minute went off of the clock.
Yeah, it's surprising that they didn't.
I bet you things would have been different had they called timeout.
Well, that could have been, but I'm very surprised that they didn't call timeout from a tactical standpoint, because normally, you know, 2nd and 8, you got to figure you got to get the ball back, and you got to have enough time to do something with it. I'm surprised that they didn't call the timeout.
4th touchdown by the Rose, Earl Campbell. The Tyler Rose, they call him. Here's the kickoff being bobbled on the 10-yard line. Picked up by Miami and run back out across the 20-yard line. The tackle is made with 1:06 remaining. And Houston leading. Gary Davis returned that kick, and the tackle was by Brian Duncan, a 15-yard return. Campbell leads the National Football League in rushing. 199 yards for the night. 4 touchdowns, as we told you. That last drive, 5 plays, 93 yards for Houston to seemingly ice the game with 1:06 remaining. Del Williams comes off the field for Miami. And Greasy will try to see what he can salvage. He has 2 timeouts remaining. Looks like New England will have a 1-game lead. Breezy's back to throw. He throws a screen, and it should be a good one. It's taken by Pulash. He's across the 30 and across the 40-yard line, out to the 45 and beyond with less than a minute remaining, and Reinfeld made the tackle. The clock runs down to 50 seconds. Miami still hasn't called a timeout. 45 seconds. They go into the hurry-up offense. A 22-yard game. 40 seconds left. 35-23 Houston. Breezy back to throw. He looks and throws. It is caught at the 45-yard line. And diving down to the 43 is Gary Davis. Tackle there. 28, 27. And now Miami calls timeout with 27 seconds left in the game.
You talk about even stats. Right at this stage, both teams, total yards, 406 yards apiece.
Young just hit Greasy back there on that last throw. Greasy is a bit shaken as he walks to the bench. Only to talk.
Now, also, from a statistical viewpoint, 24 first downs for Miami, 23 for the Houston team. Boy, that's really balanced as far as both teams are concerned.
Well, I tell you, this Houston team will be playing Cincinnati, Pittsburgh again, New Orleans, and San Diego. And the way they look here tonight, they can handle anybody.
Well, they're really flying high. But, you know, let me say this, too, Jack. You know, we've seen a lot of teams look very impressive one week, and then the next week, you don't know what happens to them. They look like a bunch of sleepwalkers.
Don't bet your house on them next week.
That's exactly right.
They play Cincinnati here in the Dome, and they play Pittsburgh here in the Dome. They play at New Orleans, and they play San Diego here. Miami has the Jets in Miami. They play at Washington. They have Oakland in Miami and New England in Miami. And that New England-Miami game is a night game on the 18th, and we'll be there for CBS Radio. 27 seconds left. Miami has 1 timeout remaining. They have 2nd down and a yard to go. Greasy is hit and sacked back in midfield. Greasy is sacked by Steve Baumgartner and Ken Kennard.
You know what they did that time? They sent 3 receivers on the left side, Jack, and I think it was going to be a jump ball situation. He was going to throw it deep. Hope that maybe one of the boys would tip it, and the other guy would have a chance to catch it, a la Atlanta Falcons of a couple of weeks ago. They call it the Big Ben play. It looks like that's what they were trying to do. They're lining up in the same situation again. Let's see if they try to get it downfield with an assist by one receiver and the other one trying to catch it.
With 18 seconds left,
there he goes
to throw, and he throws the long one downfield. 5 men go up. And it's caught by Miami at the 11-yard line of Houston with 9 seconds remaining. It was caught. Now the clock is running and stopped with 5 seconds. Bo Rather went downfield and came away with that football.
They could really use that extra minute that they blew, as we talked about a little while ago, when they were on defense, Jack.
Yeah, because now they're trailing by 12 points. And the ball is to the 11-yard line of Houston with 5 seconds remaining. Has a 40-yard gain. That's all over but the shouting, and you'll hear some shouting when that clock runs down. And Houston will have a record of 8-4, be 2 games behind Pittsburgh. Miami will have a record of 8-4 and be 1 game behind New England.
You know, we've seen a lot of great football games on Monday Night Football, Jack. This is one of the very best that we've been involved with all season long.
And this helps teams like Seattle and San Diego and Cleveland. They've suffered 6 losses along with the Jets, but they're still much in the title picture.
Yeah, it's going to be a very strong motivation for those teams because they still got a shot as a wild card team, and so the motivation for them is going to be very keen.
Greasy had gone to the bench. He comes back out to utilize the final 5 seconds. This is Earl Campbell night here in Texas. Man, 4 touchdowns, 199 yards, and as Hank Stram said, to be able to sprint 81 yards and not be caught by those defensive backs at this stage of the game is remarkable.
It really is a great tribute to the condition that he's in, and plus the fact that he carried the ball 26 or 27 times prior to that run, so it's a great compliment.
And he weighs 2 1/4.
Hey, he must have drank a lot of Gatorade during the course of this game.
And now with a first down from the 11, Greasy rolls right, 2 seconds left, 1, he throws, end zone touchdown to Cephalo, but the game is over. Cephalo caught the touchdown pass, making the score 35-29. They'll get a chance to kick the extra point. The clock has run down, expired. And so have the Dolphins here tonight. The extra point attempt will be forthcoming from the Permian, and the final score is likely to be 35-30, and an offensive show here tonight under the dome. Ball is marked at the 2-yard line. So Greasy hits Cephalo for an 11-yard TD pass as the clock showed no more time remaining. It showed you what that Campbell run did.
Yeah,
it was the winner. Houston doesn't even try to block it. It's kicked through by Yepremian. The end of the game between Miami and Houston, the final score, the Oilers 35 and the Dolphins 30.
Buick announces a car destined to become a classic, the new Riviera. It has the traction of front-wheel drive. It is supported independently at all 4 wheels, and it has almost every power assist available, standard. The new Buick Riviera. At least once in your life, you should own a car this incredible.
This game, briefly for you. Miami scored the first time they had the ball, a 10-yard pass from Greasy to Nat Moore. 7-0 Miami. A 1-yard run by Earl Campbell with 3:30 left in the first quarter tied the game, and the quarter ended tied 7-all. The next scoring came on a 1-yard run by Del Williams, putting Miami on top again. But first of all, it was Pastorini to Barber, 15 yards, and the Oilers led 14-7. 1-yard run by Williams tied it up 14-all. That was the score at the end of the half. Earl Williams ran for 6 yards and a touchdown, 21-14 in favor of the Houston club. And then Leroy Harris went over from 1 yard out to tie it at 21-all. That was the score at the end of the third quarter. Then a safety put Miami on top, 23-21. And Campbell then got his third touchdown of the night from 2 yards out to put Houston back on top, 28-23, and then he ran 181 yards, making it 35-23, the 11-yard touchdown pass to Cephalo for Miami, the final points of the night. 35-30 Houston. We'll continue with our wrap-up in just one moment.